Wichita State. 49ers bring pressure. Two inside backers come down the sideline. Romeo Doubs, a touchdown.
Hang on. Love to Watson to a one-score game.
Hey, this is Ahman Green, the Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing. Bill, the Packer fan, and Packer owner, Nick. They run a website for Packer news and updates, and I know Packer news hasn't been so great lately because we got some players that are not Packers anymore that you loved at one time, but you might hate a little bit right now.
Two great running backs. We have a competent offensive line.
He's saying that he felt in November and December that they didn't want him back.
Get a little safety in that position. Either we go.
There's no reason to believe we can't return, but.
And they already came out, there's a couple guys that came out and said that Rodgers is telling what
solution of it, and don't let them go for anything under than one.
And you know what, Packer fans? The Bears still suck. So go Pack Go, and good luck to you, Bill and Nick, their website and their Packer news. Talk to you later.
It's a lot easier to come in and skip doing mop-up duty, but he threw the ball all. He kind of looked like Aaron Rodgers the way he was throwing the ball sidearm and just flicking the wrist, and the ball was just jumping out of his hands. Agreed.
Hey everybody, this is Gerhard de Beer, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, and you're watching Frozen Tundra Network with Bill the Packer fan and Packer owner Nick. Enjoy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Frozen Tundra Network. It's already been a week. It's been that fast. I want to ask real quick, Jamez, Jeremy, and Chad, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. We got two Lions fans and a Vikings fan. Obviously, we got John Dorn, we got Ken, we got Rob, like we do every week. Have you ever had anybody as good as Ahman Green shout you out like that before?
Closest I got is Charles Harris.
Oh, all right.
Who?
Yeah, I know. The guy that got hurt game 1 last year. That's another story.
So we got a really special show for you guys. There's going to be a Raiders fan that's going to come on and talk his shit also. That'll be fun.
I wanted a Bears fan in here because I wanted to ask a specific question.
Yes, bring on the Bears fan. They scared, man. They scared.
And it has nothing to do with rebuild. It's about something that's going to hurt Fields as much as it's going to hurt.
So
Joe Burrow,
that's a Bears
Patrick
fan
Mahomes,
out there,
and all of them.
Anybody that's a Bears fan out there, if you want to jump on. I invited Bears Mafia or whatever they call themselves. We'll see if they join.
Fraud Squad.
Oh, you mean the Bears Mafia?
I like to say bear down. The last time I heard bear down, I was bear hunting.
Last time I heard bear down, I was camping. They were like, yeah, go take a 2 over there.
You guys know about the new rule with RPOs, right?
With who?
The RPO, the run.
No, I didn't hear that yet.
Option.
The run pass.
If a quarterback tucks the ball to run like a running back and leaves the tackle box, if they go and do a shuffle pass or a pitch that moves forward, it is now an illegal forward pass and a 15-yard penalty.
Because he left the box?
Yeah.
Because he left the box?
It's tucked like a running back.
It's actually not that big.
Quarterback to throw the pass, that's different. If he
Hey,
tucks
man, you
the
gotta
ball to run like a running back and then gets just before the line of scrimmage and tries to pitch it forward or throw a shuffle pass outside the tackle box.
So it's actually not as crazy of a rule change as everybody first thought.
It is a crazy rule change.
You just can't, once you get ahead of yourself like that, you either have to hand it off or you can't make that decision anymore. They're eliminating the decision. But
You can't go outside the
You can't pitch the ball back?
You can pitch it backwards.
Yeah, you can.
Lateral it as long as it's beside you. But
Yeah,
you cannot go forward
you can't
with
pitch it
even
forward.
if you're behind the line of
Okay,
scrimmage.
so all right, so that's the only difference. You just can't throw it forward if you leave the box.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
tuck it. Yeah,
Well, that's not a bad. I mean, honestly, that's not a terrible rule.
Yeah,
But
I'm
if they
cool
tuck
with
it and
that.
run like a
Definitely.
running back, because you know who the biggest culprit of that? Joe Burrow. He does it 38% of the time.
Oh, really? I don't know what's that.
Hey, your son's there, Jeremy. Your son, dude.
36% of the time.
It says it, Dad. What are you talking about?
I know your son was right there.
That ain't my son. That's the burner account on my thing. I don't care. They like to have fun. That's okay.
So, all right. So we're gonna go into first Jordan Love. Since Jeremy's here, I want your honest opinion. You first. Tell us what you think is going to happen with Jordan Love incorporated in. We're probably for once going to be able to see a Matt LaFleur offense style, and the receivers are obviously a year older. So
because of the lack of playing time, and that's the only reason I'm going to say this, you probably won't see Jordan Love start to flourish till week 7 or 8.
That's fine. I mean,
because he's a developing quarterback with a limited playing time. And that's no knock against him. It's because you guys had a Hall of Fame quarterback that rarely ever got hurt.
I don't think that's crazy to say. And I mean, look, when Rodgers got in there, it took him.
I'm not going to lie. It's probably going to be a bad start to the season at the quarterback position for you guys. Because he's got to learn to read defense better. Yes, he had the one game where he came out and he had an okay game. But he also was playing against who?
Yeah. Who we got week 1? The Bears. We ain't had no worries.
Yeah, they're a lot more improved than people think. The only thing you got to worry about is that defense showing out.
Well, only 3 wins, 4 wins is an improvement. I mean, I get it.
And that's all I'm talking about. If that defense can stop the running game, which they did a lot to help their linebacking core and the interior defensive line to do that, if they're able to slow down that running game, the Bears do have a chance to upset the Packers.
They have the chance, I don't think that defense is going to be able to handle it.
Rush, man. Ain't nobody there scary that fucking for pass.
I think
Jermaine Edwards and TJ.
They're not good pass rushers.
You're not scared of them?
No.
They are pass rushing linebackers. You should
doesn't
be scared.
matter. No.
They're all right. They're okay. They're okay. But the thing is, just to answer the initial question, with Jordan Love, man, Nick, I think he's in a position, man, where it's going to be all on him. He's got, he's been behind the scenes for a few years. I'm hoping that he flops, but the thing is, man, he got a nice run game, he got a defense. This is going to be the year for Matt LaFleur, man, to prove he's really the real deal coach that that he's have to be. You can't argue his win or loss record. That's one thing you can't argue, man. But without Aaron Rodgers, for him to keep it going, for him to still be able to rise the Packers up to not necessarily 13-win level, but to have them in as a winning team. I'll just say that as a winning team. Without Aaron Rodgers, that would be a good thing. That would be a good mark for Matt LaFleur, and it's going to get him some more years of money in Green Bay too.
I'll tell you honestly, truth. If they don't make the playoffs or not even sniff the playoffs, I'll be disappointed in Jordan Love.
Absolutely, John.
Well, here's the thing. As good as that defense looks on paper, it ended up 21st last year, correct?
Yeah, we had a lot of injuries, though. We lost a lot of guys.
Packers were like 14. Packers were like 14 overall.
Yardage.
It wasn't that low. Our pass defense was 6th in the whole league.
I think overall they were like 14. They were like 14th last year.
I think you're right. I think we were
in the run
14.
defense.
Our run defense sucks.
Yeah.
That's true. But
and I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm speaking facts.
It sucked, man.
You know what's crazy about it? Is that as bad as the Lions defense was and as bad as that Carolina Panthers game, they finished 29th in run defense.
Yeah.
And we still won in the North this year. So, we got that.
It was historically bad run defense through the first 7 games at the 1-6 mark. It was historically bad.
So how do you pronounce your name? How you pronounce your name?
Jeremy Ballrick.
No Hesse?
Oh, no Hezzy. Yep, that's me.
No Hezzy. That's right. All right, I get it now. No Hezzy.
He's a Lions fan?
He's a Lions fan? Money put me on the group, so I'm here thanks to Money. So it's my first time out.
You're a Lions fan.
Oh, yeah. That's why I put on my bucket hat with all the autographs on it for my people.
So you'll probably live pretty long because I hear crying is good for your health.
No, we ain't never did that. We still show love, man. That's our team no matter what.
I also heard that when you put paper bags on your face, it's good exfoliant.
He's not old enough. Nick, he's not old enough. Look at him.
That's true.
We wore bags in our head.
1-3 versus Detroit. Oh yeah, it's.
Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, I hope everybody here is ready for a sweep coming up because
there ain't no sweep coming up.
Really?
Your offense struggles against our defense.
Hey, Jordan, y'all are much improved, man. Y'all are much improved. But for you to just think y'all about to be sweeping everybody and y'all got the North as a lot, you need to fall off that tree. You need to fall off that horse.
Nobody's looking past the Lions this year. Nobody.
I love the homerism.
Same old Lions.
Just in case anybody was wondering, Green Bay's defense was 17th last year, so it was middle of the pack.
Oh, I was close. I said 14.
It was mainly because the run defense was bad. So real quick, Jamez, let's do this. I'm gonna start with Chad first, and then we'll go to you, Jamez, and then we'll go around the horn. Chad, the Vikings fans think that they're not rebuilding right now. They're calling it something else, retooling and all that. What do you think? Because, look, I think Green Bay actually is like, we're not rebuilding because we have a talented roster
We're
outside of
retooling on offense.
I actually think that we're trying to figure out what we're doing right now. I wouldn't call it rebuilding. I feel like the Vikings, they're going to probably fire sale a little more. I think they are rebuilding right now, don't you?
Well, Nick, to rebuild, you have to have money, okay? So we'll start with that. The Minnesota Vikings, they shit the bed. They have no money, okay? They're going in this year
there you go, DC.
What they've got, and their rebuild will start next year when they actually have cap space and don't have to keep trading back so they can afford their draft picks.
When they trade JJ?
I think they will. I think they will.
That's why you got Edison.
They haven't extended him, right? They just he's on the last year of his contract, right?
Yeah.
You guys think he resigns if the Vikings tank?
If he
JJ's going to be 30 million, 25 to 30 million a year.
You can want top dollar, man. I mean, they're better off just trading them.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, best of the offensive and defensive line.
By week 8, he will be a free agent next year. They will not trade him. They're going to keep him on the roster because he's that good.
Like the Bears this year.
30-something million.
Rebuttal,
in the playoffs.
Counter, give us everything you got right now, Jamez, against what is being said about your Vikings.
Oh no! Now, as far as the cap, I guess I'll just go piece by piece. Now the cap room, we're going to be in a real good goddamn spot with that in the next couple of years. As far as and that's the hard pill that has to be swallowed, man. The thing that I feel is, and I'm not calling it a rebuild just yet, Nick. Now, if I somehow hear that Jefferson's getting traded tomorrow, or that Cousins is some on the trade block, or that there's something like that. If I feel like another piece like that drops off the board, I'll give it to you all day. Fuck reload. We might as well be taking for Caleb Williams if something like that happens. But right now, this offense we got is still playoff caliber, man. No matter taking Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, taking these guys off, this is still a playoff caliber offense. The defense is a mystery, but dude, he's making the right moves, man. He's finally dropping us. The mediocre has been not getting us by, man. You got to understand that even with all those good guys we just lost, Kendricks, Zadarius Smith, wasn't really a big fan of Patrick Peterson. I thought he was so good, but a lot of people include him, so I'll throw him in there too. And there's a couple other guys. This was still guys that contributed to the 31st ranked defense, man. A defense that gave up so many yards. It was almost the most in franchise history, man. We've been that's over 60 years of time, man. We had to get younger. We had to get younger in some of these spots, man. We had to relieve some of these guys were just making too much money, man. Dalvin Cook, as good as he is, man, take the pay cut. You understand that we throw the ball a lot over here, man. We got TJ Hawkinson. We're about to have to pay him. Take the pay cut. If you're not, walk the damn plank, man. If you're not willing to make sacrifices to the greatness of this kingdom, you got to go, man. That's just the way we're rocking it.
So I was going to go, Rob, if you turn your camera on, I'll go John Dorn, Ken, and Rob. I want you guys to talk about what happens now that Dalvin Cook's gone and Madison's the starter. I'm sorry, but Madison's stats are.
They ain't going to stack the box. They're not going to stack the box now.
I think that Minnesota's offense is going to be crushed because you're going to be one-dimensional.
Yeah, I don't see Madison being some super massive thing at running back. I think he'll be decent, but I don't think it's going to be enough to draw any kind of attention away from JJ.
Yeah, and Addison better be that dude because I know that Thielen was on the downside. We all get that. I totally get that. But he was still an integral part of your offense. He was an important piece of your offense, was he not? So yeah. Addison better be that dude. I will say that Osborne, I think he's actually a lot better than I ever gave him credit for. He's actually not a bad receiver. I will give him that.
Yeah, he's solid.
Yeah, but Addison better get inside and do some work to help that Thielen loss because I don't know, man. You guys lost some.
Gain about 20 pounds before week 1.
He better. He damn sure better.
That's no joke.
Get on the Eddie Lacy diet, biscuits and gravy.
No hezzy. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
So I was gonna say, was Addison a first rounder? Before I get to what I was gonna say, was Addison a first rounder?
He was. They said that he could have gone second round, but it would have been early second round. So I'm not going to knock him for that. He was either late first, early second. I thought the Vikings
best wide receiver on the board.
Because I don't want to be wrong, because expectations are a little different if you came in the first round versus.
No, what Jeremy just said is what I was just
he's a first round pick.
The Vikings may have got the best receiver that was in the draft. It's possible they did. So
he's solid. I like him a lot. He's going to be good. So my thing with the Vikings, since we're going to focus on the Vikings for now. Offense is solid. You know, you got Hockenson. He'll give you about 10, 12 good games off the season. Lay you a couple eggs. He'll lay you a couple eggs here and there.
What's up, A-Dub?
That defense, though, man. Taking from a Lions fan, we had a top 5 offense all year. Defense, bottom 5 all year.
You guys had number 1 offense for like the first half of the year, right?
Yeah. I just rounded it off the top 5 all year. Solid. Never wavered from top 5. I think we got as low as top 4 at one point. But it's not going to be good for the Vikings this year. I see it as a 7, maybe 9 win ceiling for the Vikings.
So that's something we're going to talk about the Lions defense also, because I think it's an important part of what happens in the NFC. I think this is the most mixed the NFC fans have felt in a really long time. This is the tightest the NFC North has been in a while.
Right now, every team has a question mark. Every team has.
Everybody, now look, I'm not being literal. I'm just making a fantasy world. Like, let's just say Jordan Love sitting those 3 years, it actually paid off, and you see it this year, and you're just like, oh my God, he's actually pretty good. All of a sudden, you start thinking the Packers have a chance now to win the division, right? What if losing the players that the Vikings lost actually made them better because they shed that dead weight? And now look, I see you rolling your eyes, Jeremy. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just thinking. I'm trying to figure out how that's going to make that defense better.
I'm just saying there's a lot of question marks. We just don't know. What if Madison ends up being better than Cook when he starts, right? We don't know. What if Addison is that dude? So
or a backup or third string or fourth stringer kicks in, you know?
Yeah, but what if the Lions defense really did improve that drastically, and now all of a sudden they're top dog? What if Justin Fields ends up being good this year? Like it paid. Now these are big question marks.
Now you're fucking talking like you're drunk.
Most of these things will not happen. I'm just saying. I think this is the biggest. This is like the first time I've seen in a really long time where all of our fan bases are like, we don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
But I think it's wide open, and I think every team has a question mark on it in this division.
There's question marks everywhere.
Yeah, I can see everything.
Question marks. With Jameson Williams, you don't know if it's going to be 3 games or 6 games yet.
Go ahead and talk about that, Jeremy. You have.
I thought they said it was 6 games. I thought they made that announcement today.
The report was 6 games, but last week the NFL issued a statement that they made a mistake with all of those guys that bet on at the away hotels on other sports. So they are talking about reducing the suspensions across the board. Somewhere between 3 and 4 games is what it'll end up at. And the reason why they're getting a big egg on the face about this is they did a survey right after those suspensions were issued, and 80% of the league did not know that you could not bet from your hotel room while on the road.
Why are you betting at all? I don't get that.
If you're betting on other sports, it's not an issue. The only thing that we knew was an issue right off the bat was you cannot bet on the NFL.
So then,
suspension.
So these guys were betting on NFL games?
No, I'm talking about the guys that bet on like college sports or baseball.
I think Jameson Williams is betting on
I thought there was just no betting at all, no gambling in their contracts. They're not allowed to gamble.
You're not allowed to bet on NFL.
The NFL can't do that because they went to bed with all those motherfuckers.
Yep. And that's how these people are getting
bet. If you play for, you're not allowed to bet on the sport that you play for. So NFL guys cannot play or bet on the NFL. MLB guys cannot bet on the MLB, stuff like that. But if you bet on college, like these guys were, the Lions players were betting on college football, you're allowed to do that. And there was this humongous thing that happened a few years before that where they made it like, okay, we can't tell them not to do that. Like, so, but I look, the cornerback for the Patriots came out, Jones. He said, I put my life on the line playing this game. I don't know why we can't bet. I get actually why the rule exists, because once you start getting into the thick of things where it's like, well, he's not betting on his own team, and then all of a sudden, a few weeks later, oh, he did bet on his own. See what I'm saying? Like you're changing outcomes of games at certain levels. It's possible. There's so many ins and outs with this. There's so many intertwining. Like I get why you're not allowed to bet on your own sport. I agree.
If you're running a losing team, you can actually.
Yeah.
If
you can throw the game. You can
bet on your team to lose. Like
it's called integrity. Integrity.
You know what else?
Yes, that's what it's about. Just don't bet, man. Just don't do it.
Integrity.
Well, Lions, they gotta have that fucking gate, that fucking gambling.
The other thing is the locker room secrets, like the insider information that. So I'm gonna give my money now because I have insider information that nobody else has because I play for the NFL. I'm gonna give my money to someone that nobody knows. They're gonna bet for me. See what I'm saying? There's all sorts of shit that you could do.
Well, the Lions, they got a gambling problem. They got a ring going on.
They actually did write that in.
Gambler degenerates.
Anybody else bet on your behalf if you're caught in indefinite suspension.
And that's why they have the rule. I totally get why they have the rule. Now, the dumb part on the Lions players was that just walk out of the facility.
They weren't in the facilities.
That's the only problem is where they were at when they placed the bet.
Hotel room on the road.
So what about all the coaches that got canned from this?
Now the coaches that got canned were betting on March Madness on their computers at work.
So they just got fired because they were gambling on the job?
In the facility.
In the actual
NFL facility. Yeah.
I don't understand this, man.
Just walk out of the facility and make your bets.
What kind of rules are these?
Call your wife up. Hey, make a bet for me.
I know. Don't you know somebody? Hey, man, go make me a bet.
For integrity.
Chad, go ahead and give the full spectrum of it real quick.
Any of that, because all of that stuff is registered with these online sites.
Okay.
So if your family member makes a bet and it's outside of their comfort zone for betting, it'll be flagged back to you.
What the fuck? How are they going to know that? How are they going to know?
That's true, man. I don't know how they know. They figure it out. That's true.
I'll tell you what.
That's bullshit.
Right? You know what I do? I prevent fraud at a bank. That's what I do. I can pinpoint with IP addresses and triangulating devices exactly where you were when you logged in on a device. I can find that out. So when they do that, they can figure out where this computer was the second that he went on this website and made that bet. I totally understand how they figured that out.
Yeah.
Chad, I know you were talking about integrity and that's why these rules are in place. I want you to just bounce off of that real quick, and then I'm gonna go to A-Dub. We'll go to Jamez. We'll get everybody involved. All right.
All right, bounce me. Where do you want me to bounce?
No, I want you to start talking about what you were talking about, the whole integrity of this entire thing.
Here's the thing. To keep the integrity, there's already a lot of questions, and we know it. It's not just the Lions that question officiating and outcomes of games. There's multiple other teams that question the outcome of the game. And then now if you add gambling into the factor, and the players are gambling, that again can put integrity into question. And this is solely whether I agree with what the NFL's doing. I just think that they didn't do a good enough job of clarifying what the rules are.
Well, and then why do they get burner phones?
John, hang on a second. I'm talking. They even admitted it.
Damn, John.
The league even admitted it that maybe we missed the ball here. Maybe it wasn't clear enough. And now they're doing more things about it. Now they're rewriting the rules. Correct, Jeremy? I mean, they've changed. There's new wording in all the rules now.
Yeah.
That's just because it's not a good look for the NFL, man. They have players be suspended, players that are doing stupid shit. It's not a good look at all.
Why did they get burner phones then if they didn't know the fucking rules? They went out and get burner phones. Yeah. They knew the fucking rules. They fucking fucked up. You're fucking suspended. You get your fucking time, and that's it.
You have baseball players that weren't allowed in the Hall of Fame.
Use them as a fucking learning thing. They don't.
Are you done yelling at me?
The NFL can't just simply it's not a big deal because there's bigger things at stake that has happened in the past. There's all sorts of shit that's already built up to this, right? So they have to do
something.
So look, if it's a 3-game suspension, like Jeremy's saying, then you know what? Still, I think the NFL looks at it as we suspended you for games, which is a big deal to these players. Don't do it again. If you do it again, then who knows what's going to happen? You know?
I mean, if they did reduce it, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, at least it brings out to the rest of the people to say, hey, don't gamble. Otherwise, you're going to get in this mess. You might even get – I mean –
they're not talking about the card game in the locker room after a game's done and everybody leaves. They're not talking about if you're staying at a hotel and there's a slot machine in the lobby and you go down there and hit the slot machine. What they're talking about is sports betting, period.
Yep. And if that was it, what you said, Jeremy, if that was the case, then Michael Jordan would have been kicked out of the NBA a long time ago.
Hell yeah, man, because he
exactly. Now let me I wrote articles about this on the South Florida Tribune when I was writing, and I actually did a deep dive into it. And I already knew Isaiah Rodgers was going to be the first player outside of the NFC North that was getting an indefinite suspension even before he admitted it on Twitter.
He bet on the actual game, though, right?
He bet on actual games, and he did a prop bet on the Indianapolis Colts.
What a fucking idiot. No, that's some idiot shit to do.
So he goes out, and about 2-3 weeks ago, he writes this big Twitter apology. Yes, I'm ashamed. I let down my team, my players, my coaches.
Do you know who's always sorry? The guy that got
I'm
caught.
so sorry.
The guy that got caught is always sorry.
Out of here.
Of course.
I mean,
so look,
I'm
PR
glad.
move.
You know what? Say what you want. The only one I'm glad that got caught betting on actual NFL stuff is Quintus Cephas, because he probably doesn't have a spot on this roster this year anyway.
That's the only reason. Not that it just couldn't have done it.
So let's.
I did not mind the fact that he got busted and suspended and cut.
I'm gonna get
cut anyway. And because he did that, it's no dead cap for the last year of his rookie contract.
It saves you money with all that money, towards the cap too.
Right,
he always
because
gets
he was a
training
4th
camp
round
anyway.
pick.
Every time in training camp.
Gambler, degenerates.
So that being said, I don't give a shit. Like if somebody does football squares with their family at the fucking bar, shit like that. I don't care if they're doing March Madness. I don't care if they're betting on college football. I don't care if they're betting on baseball if they're in the NFL. Hell, for all I know, they could be betting on the next cornhole tournament. Who gives a fuck? But I care as long as they're not betting on the NFL or anything within the NFL. And in the new rules, they can't even play daily fantasy football in the NFL.
Nope. No, I
they shouldn't be allowed to anyway. I mean, I'm sorry.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from the gambling part.
Everything.
I want to go into a new segment, and I want Jamez to start off, and we're going to go to, people like Ada. We'll go to Ken. We'll go to Rob. We'll go to John Dorn. We'll just mix it up. We'll get to, Hezzy. We'll get to Chad. We'll get to Jeremy. Everyone's going to get to talk. I think that everyone's got an opinion on this one. Jamez, the Lions already had a really, I'm going to call it a great offense. Obviously, they were tops in the league. That's considered a great offense. They already had that. They did lose their record-breaking touchdown runner, though, which I think that's a bigger deal than a lot of Lions fans think. But replacing with guys like David Montgomery, et cetera.
You replace him with a bum.
Yeah.
I really want to focus, though, on the defense.
Hey,
I'll tell why that's wrong.
They picked up guys on defense to try to alleviate all the shit that was going on last year, right? So what do you think? What do you realistically think their actual upgrade is at this point? Like how much better did they actually get?
To be honest, man, I'll start off by saying this: the Lions have definitely done enough to become the favorites for the North this year. Even though it shouldn't be too crazy ahead, I think it's still wide open. Like you said, the offense was already playoff caliber, man. If these new defensive guys that they've signed and the guys that got through the draft can gel and they can come as one unit, they could be a dangerous team, man. I think just off improvement, they should be at least 2 games better than last year. This team, with the expectations now on their back and with where they've come, and just off the fact that they put so much emphasis into their weak spot, this team shouldn't lose more than 6 games. This should be at least an 11-win team.
I like that. That's a good assessment.
I personally put the Lions at 11-6. this is going to sound crazy, you guys, but I had the Packers at 9-8 because I do think that the defense is going to be better than it was last year, which it was supposed to be. It's going to be as good as it was supposed to be because Barry is going to finally start coaching the second half of the year, not the first half of the year, where he played zone all fucking game and it killed us. And I think our receivers are better. So does that mean that Love's better than Rodgers and we upgraded? That's not what I'm saying. I think that with the LaFleur system actually being in place, not audibling out of it all the time, using actual run-heavy offenses, I think we could win one more game. Now, I could see us also winning 6 games. I could see it. But I had the Lions at 11-6, the Packers at 9-8. Now, Jamez, don't hate me for this, but I had the Vikings at 6-11, and I had the Bears. Dude, the Vikings, in my opinion, they just got worse, man. In those one-score games, you're not going to win with the defense that you got right now.
The deciding factors in those one-score games are still on the team, man.
Oh, you lost all that leadership, though. That's gone out the
Cousins, Jefferson, and Kevin O'Connell, man. Those are the deciding factors in those wins,
but
man.
Dude, losing Cook is going to change the dynamics on that offense, man. I'm telling you, man. He was your grinder, man. You ain't got him no more.
That's the worst take you guys are riding, man. That's the one I'm going to rub in the most.
Who won the Colts game?
That's the worst one you taking, huh?
Who won the Colts game?
It wasn't Dalvin Cook, goddammit. He got one touchdown out of all the 30-something points we needed, bro. What are you talking about? Kirk Cousins won that game for us, dude. Kirk Cousins was throwing darts across the lot second half, man.
I'm pretty sure he scored 2 touchdowns. He had the reception for like 69 yards and a touchdown, and then he had the one where he punched it in from the 2-yard line. He had 2 touchdowns, didn't he?
Oh, maybe he did have a punch in. Maybe he had a punch in. He might have had a punch in. I forgot about, but dude, he wasn't the deciding factor in that game.
Nick, yards or something crazy, didn't he?
Nick, did you forget about the goddamn fumble he had that put us in that spot?
Do you guys still win if you don't have Cook?
He does.
You still win that game if you don't have Cook.
No. Well, yes, because we probably got a running back that doesn't fumble and have us in a worse hole. God damn it! Yes, we would have won the game without Cook. Yeah, we would have won the game easier because Madison wouldn't have fumbled that goddamn ball.
So what I heard before he gave that last take,
dude, do y'all not understand that Cook fumbled the ball? He fumbled the ball on a promising drive, man.
Where's the Fox Sports at? Where's the real Fox Sports at? Come on, man.
I'm telling y'all what I know, man.
When your defense is even worse than it was last year, what happens in one-score games? They revert.
The defense is going to be better than last year, dude. Do you think this
they get no worse?
The defense is going to be better than last year.
I got to interject here. You have a track record with one-score games, and it's 1 year you're good, and the next year you're horrible.
You got it.
It's been a track record with Minnesota the last 8 years.
No, it hasn't been a track record.
Go look at your one-score games. Go look at
this is the first year we've ever done this like this, dude. What are you talking about?
Jamez, I'm going to Rashad Bateman you guys this year is what's going to happen.
This is the first time we've ever had this many one-score games in probably 30 years, bro. What are you talking about? You just said 8 years. We've never had a season like this since I've been alive.
No. I said one-score games, period, over the last 8 years. I didn't say you had a plethora every fucking year. Listen to words coming out of my mouth.
No, you're saying that what you're saying is a dumb point. You're saying that based off of that automatically means it's going to happen to us next year, which is a retarded take, dude. That's a dumb take. You hope that you're hoping that because you're second place to us, bro. You're looking for an edge that's not there. You're looking for an edge for your team that's not there, buddy.
But they weren't even close to being second, man. 4 games off, man. Come on.
That's a damn good sample size in the NFL world, man. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man,
that's all I'm saying, man.
I need a turn. Let me say my piece.
The Lions, and this is what I'm saying. Y'all think y'all about to sweep everybody. You motherfuckers will be lucky to be 4-2 in the division this year.
One thing about the Lions,
and that's on the lucky side.
I think they can do back to back.
That's a winning record, Jamez. 4-2. Sure.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but
hold on, guys. We got Jamez's kryptonite on right now.
Who's that? Oh my God! You meant to say my whipping gal? Did you mean my whipping gal?
I love how you did. Oh my God!
Hey, everybody take it down. Everybody take it down a notch. Take it down.
Look, I promise, Darcy, welcome to the show. I promise A-Dub some viewing time. No, Hezzy, I'm gonna get to you. We're gonna go to everybody. Okay, I promise. A-Dub, tell us what you're thinking about this whole. How good did the Lions actually get? Like, how much better did they actually get? Like we were talking about earlier, this division's a question mark, man.
Darcy?
A-Dub,
I'm not A-Dub. Oh, okay. First of all,
my bad. A-Dub, he did ask A-Dub that first. Go ahead, Darian.
How better the Lions get?
Well,
I say, yeah, the Lions the Lions are much improved to where it should be. It should be a thing that they do win a division this year. Like I thought they did a good job when it came to addressing the biggest weakness on their defense, which was their secondary. Given who they added, like guys like Gardner Johnson, as well as drafting Brian Branch, that definitely helped them out a lot in that secondary. So, given what I've seen out of Detroit, given how Detroit looks right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they do take this division. I already had them pegged for winning it. The only question I ever asked about it was, as they win the division, what would they look like going into the playoffs this year? Should they make it?
Fucking dumbass.
They will look like
fucking dumbass.
The Lions will look like every other team not called the Packers. They will just lose in the first round again. So we have Hezzy, you had your piece that you wanted to give. We're gonna have Rob and Darcy go at it after that about this.
All right. Well, my first time out here, I gotta say, I like to think of myself as a realistic. I'm just a general football. I just love football. So
You're on the phone. Why you come here talking?
Yeah, realistic about it. So Lions first, Jamal Williams. He never made a hole appear out of anywhere. He never juked anybody to get open. The holes were there. So good. He is terrible. I'm glad he's out of here. He had about 70 goal-to-go rushes and only got 17 touchdowns. It's not really that good. So 1 out of every 3 or 4 rushes, he's getting a touchdown. And it took him 17 games. I think it's really overblown. He's a franchise leader. In Detroit, we don't, he was a good guy to have at training camp. He was real interactive with the fans. Love him. Beautiful person for the locker room, but he's not going to be missed on the field as much as people think.
When's the last time the Lions had a running back that scored at least 1 touchdown a game?
I was going to say he did.
I don't understand that. How you to say he's a bum, man? He was the best thing that happened to you guys last year.
We have him, so we know what the hell he can do.
Whoa. Don't put words in my mouth now. I never said he was a bum. I said he's not going to be as missed as people think he is. We got Jahmyr Gibbs coming in. He's going to be balling out every game.
Gibbs ain't that much of a running back, though.
That's not average.
That's just an assumption, though. You can't go off an assumption and say, well, this guy's just going to blow up out of nowhere. Like, that's just an assumption. The fact is Jamal Williams had 1,066 yards and 17 touchdowns. Do you know who has ever done that ever before in Lions history? There's 0 people other than him. That's a lot to miss.
I don't think we've ever had
the great Barry Sanders didn't even do that. Come on, man.
Well,
Travis touchdowns where he
did average a touchdown a game because he had 6.
You guys are just on the outside looking in. Honestly, you haven't watched every play. I've watched every single play. He makes nothing appear. The holes are there. He's not going to be as missed as people think. I promise you. And
we watched him play for 3 or 4 years, and he sure made quite a few people miss and ran over a lot of fucking dudes too.
I was bummed when he left.
Yeah,
probably not.
All right. So
it's that offensive line, and my point to Montgomery, he was the best tackle.
Or he made that offensive line look outstanding with his instincts.
Darcy's been waiting patiently. I'm going to go to Darcy with the same exact subject. And Rob, whenever you want, tear him a new asshole, right?
What was the question again?
They're talking about with Jamal Williams. What he's saying is Jamal Williams, what he did, it's not really going to be missed. Like, the holes were always wide open. He had few yard touchdowns. Like, I just disagree with that. But
almost 70 goal-to-go touches, to be exact.
Well, Jahmyr Gibbs is a 2.0 of DeAndre Swift. Realistically, I'm worried about our interior of our offensive line. We have a toe issue with Frank Ragnow that's inoperable. Our center. We lost Evan Neal. He was our backup center. I'm totally worried about this season because when we go into Arrowhead and we go play Kansas City, and then we come back against the Seahawks. The Seahawks had a really, really good draft. Plus, they got that little kid there from Spartyland, Kenneth Walker. I think that was one of the best picks last year in the NFL draft. So all these Lions fans are all like, oh, they're all pinching their nipples and everything. They're getting excited. Don't be surprised come week 3 and week 4 because Green Bay's they're gonna come out and they're gonna be playing. It's gonna be loud. I guess it's a Milwaukee crowd, but it's gonna be fucking loud. And I have so much hype. I think Chicago got better. I think Minnesota got worse, and Green Bay got better by subtraction. I'm going to go out and hang out with the Fire Canada Day tomorrow. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. I'll keep watching on my phone. Go Lions. One pride.
Lions didn't get better, huh?
Thanks for being on, Darcy.
Well, he said the Lions didn't get
I don't
better.
disagree with what Darcy said. I mean, he said a lot. He had a lot of good takes.
Everybody got better but the Lions. Bullshit.
He said the Vikings got worse.
That motherfucker's creating a safety blanket. That's all.
Don't forget about the quarter now. Hey, that's an upgrade from hockey.
He creating a safety blanket.
I think he was just trying to make a point of emphasis of like he's trying to hone it into like reality.
He's trying to keep it, yeah.
They're like they see that there's success like on the horizon for them, and they're kind of blowing it out of proportion. Possibly, I mean, maybe they are that good. I think he was getting
overhyped. Pretty much overhyped.
It's just not being used to having a winning team, man. Not knowing what to do. I think.
Hey, it's the MCDC effect, man. We're just running through walls over here.
So Rob, give us your last piece on it all. We'll go to John and then Ken.
Man, I agree with most of what. Look, this season's going to be. It's all wait and see for all of us, man. Honestly, you can hype up any player you want, especially these draft picks. I mean, we know nothing until they get out there. Just like Van Ness. Yeah, he looks like he's going to be a stud, but he could be a bust.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it, but and right now the NFC North is up for grabs. I'm sorry. The only team that I don't think is going to try for the North, and is the Vikings, and that's just because I think they gave away too much already, and they haven't brought anything in to replace it. But we're going to win 10 games. We're going to probably finish first or second in division, and we're going to hopefully make the fucking playoffs.
So, John Dorn, what do you think about Rob saying that Van Ness is a bust?
I did not say that. Don't fucking put words in my mouth, Nick.
Don't say that to John. He's going to go off and yell.
I like Van Ness. I think he's going to be great. There's a lot of people that like, oh, he wasn't to start. Yeah, I don't care about that. When I heard he had 4,000 fucking in his time there, he had more time on playing than the starters did. I mean, he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be great. Yeah. He's going to be a day one starter. He's going to be fucking wrecking shop on fields from the start.
I'm not worried about him whatsoever.
What do you think about all this, John? Like, especially like how much better did the Lions actually get? I think they personally are definitely at least 2 wins better.
I think they got better. I think they got better, but I think they're actually like they brought in pieces, but they didn't bring out knockout pieces like that. Like the home run hitter fucking pieces. I mean, Gardner is probably the best one. I think the other free agency they picked up. I like him, but the only reason why I like him, he's got a nose for the ball. But otherwise than that, he's not really the greatest in cover. He's kind of slow. But like the Sutton, he's an okay corner. He ain't really a shutdown corner. He'll do. I mean, he's just above average, And Mosley, don't even give him with him, man. That guy's injury prone, and he had flashes, but that's about it. But he's always injured. I fucking think.
Don't worry, Jamie. Don't worry, Jamie. I'll get to you.
And then
time out.
And them losing Williams is going to hurt that. I mean, Montgomery, he's slow. I mean, When's the last time he had 1,000 yards?
But the Lions replaced their whole running game, didn't they?
Okay.
You're
Okay,
absolutely
what happened?
wrong about Montgomery because his all-purpose yards has been 1,200 yards every year the last 4 years.
Best
running behind Jefferson. Or not Jefferson.
O-line.
Go up.
Okay, what happened? What happens if Lions offensive line gets injured? One or two pieces. What happens? Do you got the backup for that? That's another question.
What? Yeah, we got the backup.
We got.
That's good. You ain't gonna be.
Ken's been waiting patiently. We're gonna get to him now. Go ahead and do what you got to do.
Yet.
We're gonna go to Jeremy after that.
I got a long ways to go. I got a list this long. I can tell you why he ain't gonna fucking win the division.
We still got an hour and a half to go, John.
You got a list this long, man.
Let's rile you up.
They're thinking they're going to do everything, but you're like, okay, our offense is going to be top 5. We're going to be top 5 again. It
Same fucking thing you're thinking, John.
Babyface Ken, you're up.
Yeah, I see.
Lions win something.
Yeah, I see the Lions being probably about a 10-win team, 11.
You drunk too?
Yeah, I see them being a little better than last year, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull out the division, whether Minnesota somehow, by the grace of God, stays, is the leader, or if it's us that's competing with them. I just think with how inexperienced they are at having a winning team and being the top of the division, that's going to play a part into it too. That granted, I do, if anybody's watched the show, know that I like the coach a bit just from how much attitude he injects into your team. I want to know if that's going to be enough to be able to have them be the dominant team.
Or noodle arm fucking golf.
I do not trust golf. I will straight say that.
You ever see his balls and wobbles out? This isn't even fucking power behind it.
Golf for many years, and I was never impressed by him. One of my ex's fathers was a diehard Rams fan, so I seen a lot of his games, and he gave you enough, but kept you wanting more. Yeah. This past year with the Lions, I'll give him. He took a step up. I want to see him continue it. Otherwise, I'm just going to see him as the same Goff.
I don't want to see him continue it, but I get what you mean.
You know what I'm saying.
So, unfortunately, I'm a Cal Bears fan. It's fucking awful. So I watched a lot of Goff. I thought he was big NFL arm talent when he was coming in. I still thought, he did look like it in his early years. I still thought he had arm talent. So if he does it again this year, I agree with you. It's like time to start talking about Goff as one of these top quarterbacks. Yeah. I agree with that. Jeremy, you've been waiting patiently. Go for it, bud.
Okay, you guys say Montgomery's trash and he's slow.
I don't think anybody said that. I don't believe
You're the culprit for that type of stuff.
I don't think you guys upgraded though. I don't see him as a
right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's a top 5 back in the league, but I don't think he's garbage.
Right. When you talk about David Montgomery and his time with Chicago, do you know what their rushing O-line was ranked in his 4 years? 20th in the league. You know what it was last year? 32nd. You want to know what the yards per contact was? It was negative 0.7 of a yard. That's why he led the league in broken tackles last year and still managed to get 800 yards with a quarterback that can't read a defense and has to run the ball.
That's true.
So he had 800 yards there, and he had 479 yards receiving. So evidently Justin can check down. He just can't see an open guy down the field.
There's actually a lot of extensive video on Justin Fields. We've actually shown this in the group where they break down. He makes one read. He actually does a lot of what Colin Kaepernick does.
Yeah.
He looks. He makes one read, and if his read isn't there, instead of progressing through his reads, he puts his head down and he takes off. Which everybody's always like, well, our passing our pass blocking was bad. Actually, the Bears had the second highest percentage of pass blocking win rate. Now, a lot of people, especially Bears fans, don't know what that means. Well, that's because Justin Fields has nothing to do with anything Justin Fields did. All that means is that one-on-one, mano-a-mano, the offensive lineman held his block for 2.5 or more seconds by himself, regardless of Justin Fields doing anything. So what that tells me is when your quarterback is constantly taking off out of the pocket, that is why you have the most sacks in the league. That is why you have the most fumbles in the league.
Yeah, because you're too trigger happy.
That being said,
you get scared in that pocket.
The most, everybody was exactly right in the beginning when they said we improved our secondary, which was the weakest in the league. 100%. You got Tracy Walker coming back healthy. You got Kirby Joseph, who was Aaron Rodgers' second best receiver last year. You got, tell me I'm wrong on that.
Only one played you guys. Give me a break.
You're wrong for the 2 games that he happened to do it.
One thing I will say about Kirby Joseph is I've looked at the stats, and I watch every single Vikings, Lions, Bears game, like, unless they're on at the same time. You know, I'll put them on like splits, so I'm not paying attention to every single game all at once. But he was more fantastic against Green Bay than he was the field, if I'm being honest.
100%.
Well, yeah, once Aaron Rodgers gone, he's gonna suck now.
I mean, you throw in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Yes.
You throw in Brian Branch, who was arguably the best safety in the draft, and I watched the Tom Grossi reaction video.
High on my hilarious. I wanted Green Bay to get him. I was like, dude, I want to get Branch. And then the Lions traded us and put insult to injury and drafted it. And I was like, what the fuck, guys?
That was my exact reaction because I really liked him too.
There must have been something about him that Packers didn't like.
That's what I'm hoping it is that he had some type of report that they didn't like.
We've seen that shit.
It's called incompetent. It's called incompetent, John Dorn.
I honestly think it was his size. I think that was Green Bay.
That's the only thing he had, but he had already played nickel and dime slot in Alabama and also came up to play the Viper safety role. So
I just think that Green Bay, because of where Savage is in this whole thing, and we have 3 cornerbacks, I think they looked at Branch and they thought his size was an issue for the roster. That's just from what I read.
They got their standards.
I didn't read anything bad about his speed, his awareness. I didn't read anything like that. It was all just basically his size. That was it.
He's just a tiny guy, huh?
And the other thing is,
tiny, but
you guys are talking about if a starter goes down, Darcy brought up that the starter goes down, the O-line is going to fail. We haven't had the starting 5 of our O-line on the field for 2 straight years and ranked in the top 10.
Yeah, that's true.
Which means we have very good O-line depth.
Thank you, Jeremy.
That's good. And you guys actually, at one point last year, you guys had a higher ranked offensive line than we did. I believe
we did all year.
Here's the thing.
Every single
let's do the Jamal Williams to Montgomery.
I could have swore at the end of the year we actually went like one spot above the Lions.
Yeah, I thought so.
No, you didn't.
I think PFF had us ranked 5th and you guys 6th last year.
We never went below 5th.
Never went below 5th. We ended the year. We ended the year at 4th. And
way,
this year we're coming in at 3rd.
I remember us and the Lions had good offensive lines, and the other teams.
You did. You did.
Yeah, you guys did. Yes, absolutely.
Well,
but, the other thing I want to say, Jamal Williams with an O-line that created 4.3 yards before contact. Guess what his total yards per carry was? 4.3 yards per carry.
Thank you, Jeremy.
You didn't want
that only created negative 0.7 of a yard before contact. Average 4.3 yards per carry.
He locked it the last time.
And you guys have young offensive linemen too, so
and I was about,
go ahead.
They want to get paid soon.
It's A-Dub. Go ahead, and we'll go to Chad.
I thought I was, I was gonna definitely touch on that you brought up about Montgomery. That playing with the Lions, it may be different for him. Like for him to run behind an offensive line more competent than the Bears, he won't have to worry about having to break so many tackles. That'll actually have better blocking up front when it comes to him running.
Yeah, because he's a patient runner before he does his speed break.
So
he has good vision.
Let's do this. I think this will be a good conversation. Chad, we got 4 teams in the NFC North, right?
Yep.
the team that had the best running game technically overall was the Bears last year, but a lot of that came from the quarterback. So this conversation will actually be interesting. Who in the NFC North, and it's not the Vikings obviously, has the best running back tandem without their quarterback in the NFC North?
Fuck off! You're setting me up. Green Bay. Jesus. What? You want me to fucking just be a homer and?
No, I just want your honest opinion.
Green Bay. Green Bay.
He wanted your honest opinion, and you gave the right one.
Yeah, it's Green Bay for me too.
It's Green Bay, Lions, Vikings, Bears.
You think the Vikings have a better team?
Otherwise.
I don't know what the Bears have. I mean, what do they got?
Khalil Herbert still, don't they?
They got Khalil Herbert.
That's it.
Herbert's ain't bad though.
They got Devontae.
He ain't good either.
From the Seahawks, like the third stringer from the Seahawks. I can't even remember his name.
They got Justin Fields, 2,500 yards and 1,200.
There's no way. There's no way with Khalil Herbert and Foreman that the Bears have a worse tandem.
Oh, that's right, Foreman. They got Foreman from Carolina.
Panthers, yeah. There's no way they have a worse tandem than the Vikings. The Vikings have fucking nobody.
I'm going to say this now. My sleeper pick for running back in this draft was Dwayne McBride because of the running back he was at UAB. He breaks a lot of tackles. He reminds me old school, like Earl Campbell, Christian Okoye type.
Okay.
He went to the Bears, right?
No, he's the Vikings.
Oh, sure.
My sleeper running back this year is Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, that's not a sleeper.
No, and Bijan's the running back. Unlike Jahmyr Gibbs, he's not going to be our running back. And you guys don't even realize that, I don't think.
But why did you guys put him so high on the draft pick? You could have got him later.
Well, that's
Brad Holmes.
He was going to go to either the
Patriots at 14 or the Patriots at 14.
So you think someone else was going to take him over Bijan?
Patriots at 14.
Bijan was chose at like 7, wasn't he, or 8?
I think so. 6
he was chose at 7.
8. I think Bijan.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Falcons got him. Falcons got him.
Yeah, the only reason why the Falcons took him is because the Cardinals traded up with us and got Paris Johnson, which is who they really wanted.
The Falcons might have the best running back room in the NFL right now. Like, fuck, dude. They got Cordell Patterson. They got Algier. They got fucking Bijan Robinson. They got a bunch of guys. Like, what are you going to do with that? I guess Cordell Patterson's going to be
they got a guy on defense that came out of Montana State, Troy Anderson, who actually started that college as a halfback and gained 2,500 yards his first year as a freshman.
Jeez. So, Chad, I wasn't trying to set you up. I just was asking your honest opinion because I only asked that because with the addition of Gibbs, I mean, obviously the Lions have a plethora of guys that they can go to, and I understand we've already been talking about how Gibbs is premiering as more of a receiver / running back, more so than just a running back, right? We get that. It's almost like last year when we had Aaron Jones all the time sitting up to receive the ball and not run it. And us Packers fans are like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You guys probably have a scheme for that. You probably have a rhyme and a reason for that. I understand that. I was just asking just in general because I thought the conversation would go somewhere like we just had. So I wasn't setting you up.
I think Jameson Williams' suspension was a big part of drafting him when we drafted him because we need the speed. He's not going to be really an X. He's going to catch the ball in the backfield and he's gone. I mean, there's the Lions have the 2 fastest players in the NFC North, hands down. Okay.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. Come on. Let's do this. Who do you have faster? Who do you have faster, Dorn?
Watson's faster than any fucking buddy you got on there. Plus, we got Stokes.
When you're talking about on-field speed, Watson actually hit numbers that nobody else could last year.
Yeah.
Stokes, he's another fast one. He's faster than Watson, I think.
Offense, not defense.
Packer homer. You knew this was going to happen, right,
I think
Jeremy?
Stokes is like top 5 in the league in speed. Isn't he? He's one of the fastest guys. In the whole
Believe it or not, Jameson Williams is up there too.
No, I don't doubt it, dude. He
just
time has always been up here. We get that.
We got a few guys that are actually really fast. I mean,
I actually think that's interesting. What do you Lions fans actually think? What do you realistically think about Jameson Williams at this point? Now, you could sit there and just say something like like a generic statement like, well, he's still good. He was drafted in the first round for a reason. Like, I always hate that because there's a storyline for every player, right? There always is. Now, the way that his career has gone already, don't you think that somewhat affects maybe how good he actually was coming out?
Really, when you're coming in with his career, and he didn't come in until what week?
11.
It was like 13.
11.
Yeah,
12, yeah, something like that.
And okay, now he's suspended.
I think he played like 6 snaps in week 11.
Six games he played.
Like
Yeah. So I mean, how can anybody put judgment on a guy that was the number 1 wide receiver coming out of the 2021 draft if he wasn't
22.
injured? He would have been the first receiver pick.
What I'm saying is, don't you think like the way that things have gone already in the first year and now 3 to 6 games, it somewhat affects how he came out of college, don't you think? And he had the ACL tear already coming in.
The only thing it affects is him getting on the field after a few games. Like all that will be answered in a few games. No, it could drive his hunger to be even greater than he would if it didn't happen. You never know. It could be the opposite effect. And he's hungry. He loves football. I seen him at training camp last year when he couldn't even practice. He had the ball. He was happy, just actually with the receivers, like pointing out routes, stuff like that. So he loves and breathes football. So I think he is going to ball out, not just being a homer. He just really loves football.
Jeremy's
and
pulling out chin hairs.
And I think
I tried to speak before Chad started.
Finish this up.
Okay. What I tried to say was, if I had heard from camp that he was being
Mr. Raider
ignorant or stupid or lackadaisical, I'd have more concern.
But you did hear he was running wrong routes again.
Yeah, I heard
one day. It was one fucking day.
Isn't that the only day he had? I think that was the only day he had, though, because he got suspended after that, right?
The suspension doesn't count till the regular season. He's able to be with the team every fucking day.
I know. I'm just
so, anyways,
he's
the first one on the field every practice, and he's the last one off. He waits for Amon-Ra to get done with the jugs machine, doing the 100 catches with each hand, and then he goes and starts catching off the jugs machine.
And he drops them.
So
they scared Jeremy. They're scared. They're scared, Jeremy.
No, you had one good day, 1 year in college. That was it. I mean, the guy's his attitude's even bad. I mean, the guy was a bust right from the beginning.
It's funny that the coaches and everybody else says his attitude is fucking perfect. And you say his attitude's fucking bad.
Yeah, he's
his attitude was bad at Ohio State.
Guys, even like, what's his name?
So let's do this. We got a Raiders fan on here. A Raiders fan who doesn't give a shit about the NFC North, right? He's impartial. What's up, Joe?
You're muted, Joe.
Yeah, you're muted.
Welcome, Joe.
There you go.
Now.
What's up, Joe?
Joe's 59 years old, so he doesn't know how to use his phone. Joe,
wow.
Joe, let me ask you a question real quick. I think this will spark some conversation. You, as a Raiders fan, AFC fan, have no ties to any of these teams. Who would you rather have right now and for the future, Christian Watson or Jameson Williams?
Watson.
And tell me why.
Well, because he's a deep threat, and we really haven't got to see like too much of him. There's still really like question marks about him. Like, he hasn't proven anything yet. Whereas Watson, like, he had kind of a rough start to his rookie season, and then he came out just balling. So if I was a betting man, I would bet that he's going to progress even more this season. Even having Jordan Love as quarterback, like, which, I don't think Jordan Love is like a bad quarterback per se, but it's definitely a drop off from Rodgers is what I'm trying to say. Like, how much of a drop off we'll see, but it's, to expect Jordan Love to be Rodgers right now is ridiculous. But I would rather have Watson because his speed is ridiculous. But, that could change in a year if Jameson Williams comes out and plays really well and like shows that he's like a better route runner, or if he has some sort of attributes that are better than Watson, then I might be willing to change my pick. But as of right now, I would pick Watson.
Does anybody want to counter that or bounce off?
I'll take that. Good take, Joe.
Yeah, I agree. This season it's Watson, but going forward, you got to wait on this season to really dive and answer that question. So if he performs, it's basically his rookie season coming up. Didn't really have too many snaps last year. So
but isn't he also suspended for 6 games?
Yeah, he's not even going to get a full rookie season, bro.
Yeah. It could be reduced. I heard Jeremy said it could be reduced to 3 or 4. So we'll see.
So then it's fair to say that Packers fans aren't the only ones that believe in the Christian Watson hype at this point.
Hey, I like Christian Watson, and I said he'd be picked 34 if the Lions had the pick.
Just remember, if he catches that first pass from Rodgers at the start of the season, we're talking about a different Christian Watson, man. That would have sent that kid's confidence through the roof, man. He dropped a fucking ball, hit him in the hands, man.
Yeah, hey, that's true, ain't it? Jameson bet Watson is better.
I think we should also temper expectations, like, just being honest, coming from somebody who, like you said, has no real dog in the race. Like, I think that Watson is going to be good, but like Watson is not going to be Justin Jefferson for you guys. Watson is going to play a specific role. You know, he's gonna be your deep guy, but I don't see him as being like your every down kind of like a possession receiver. Like, I don't see him being in the same.
That's Romeo Dobbs. That's who that's going to be.
Come on, can I ask Joe a question, please?
Or Reed.
Hey, Joe. So let's talk floor and ceiling, like realistically, because we don't know who has the highest ceiling. Who has the highest ceiling, JMO or Watson? I mean, if you look at ceiling, I'm not saying where they are right now in their professional careers, but in the ceiling.
But see, that's the thing is, like, I personally, I don't have, because I'm not an NFC North fan, so I didn't watch all the Lions games last year and the games that he played in. I've seen some highlights, but that's highlights, you know, like, so I can't really give you an accurate assessment of him until I see
highlights.
Until I see him play.
Highlights.
He made 40 yards.
I didn't see any highlights from the guy last year. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, my point is that
catches.
there's not enough on the dude.
Showing up for practice was a highlight.
Fuck, he goes to practice dropping balls.
You guys are heartless, man. Like, they're over here trying to cling to JMO, and you guys are just like, no, trying to sever that whole. Like, no.
That's all right. Hey, they got to see him at least once this season.
Yeah.
We'll shut him down just like fucking JJ.
I think the Lions probably have the best shot at taking the North this season, though. I'll say that.
We all do. I think
on paper. On paper.
Yeah, we all.
Listen, it's the first time in my life that I can say that. You know, I've been, you know, I'm only 28, but still, I've been going to the Silver Dome back before I could even remember. So,
bro, if you've been a Lions fan for more than 15 years, then you've already endured enough tragedy, my friend.
Yeah, I was there. I think me and my dad went to like 4 or 5 of the games when we went 0-16. We went to like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. Put it this way, dude. I've been a Raider fan since the 80s, bro. So, like, I've seen a lot of.
Hey, y'all got some good ass fans. I can't wait for Monday night. I'm going to that.
One thing I'll say about Joe is I don't think he'll ever doubt someone that believes in their team and he doesn't, because in 2009, 2010, I believed that the Green Bay Packers could win the Super Bowl, and this is the guy, Joe. They kept telling me, no, it's impossible. They won 6 games last year. They're not that good. So me and Joe go to our friend's house when the playoffs happened, right? We barely squeaked in. We actually got really lucky to get in because we had to have a bunch of teams win a bunch of games. When Deshaun Jackson returned that punt against the Giants for a touchdown to win the game, that pretty much sealed everything for us. Like, we had to have a whole bunch of things happen. Now, we get to our friend's house, and Joe's like, well, you guys aren't going to beat the Eagles now. Well, we did because we didn't have a running back, right? Ryan Grant got hurt again, so we had James Starks. Jackson, I think, got hurt too, so that's why James Starks, our third-string running back, started. And James Starks had like 120 yards and a touchdown in that game.
Yeah, he went off, man. He did.
And Tramon Williams picks the ball off in the end zone to win the game. And so Joe's like, well, you're playing the number 1 seed Atlanta Falcons now. You're definitely not going to win that one. We all know what happened that game.
Damn, Joe. What, did you get anything right?
Tramon Williams to the house right before the half ended. Right? Oh, when the half ended. So then he goes,
Hey, Nick. Okay, you got that. You can take your victory lap on that. But how about when the Packers and the Niners played in the snow, and I was the only one on the whole panel that picked them in Green Bay, and they beat you guys? How about that?
That's only one game. I'm talking about multiple games.
How about the game that when Favre played?
Or how about when I picked the Bucks to beat you guys, and then they beat you guys and went to the Super Bowl?
That was bullshit, though, and you know that was bullshit. That was garbage. They didn't.
Bro,
beat
they ass raped Aaron Rodgers up and down the field.
Aaron Rodgers was the best player in the game. What are you talking about?
I agree, but are you going to sit here and act like he didn't get his road up and down that field the whole game?
That's not his fault.
You
His
guys,
offensive line left him for dog food all game.
Okay, but I'm not sitting here saying that Aaron Rodgers is a bum either. I'm saying he got his ass rode the whole game because that defensive line of the Bucks was ridiculous.
It's actually
and you guys were missing Bakhtiari.
What happened?
You guys were missing Bakhtiari bad.
Yeah, back was up.
Not only that, we didn't
If
start
Bach
Nyman.
was there, we win that game handedly.
Oh no, I'm thinking.
Anyway, my point with all that was just that nobody's right all the time. You know?
Rodgers should have ran. That's all I'm going to say.
Tunnel vision,
We lost in the first round, or I guess it's technically the second round because it was a divisional round. Why the fuck did Nyman not start? Why?
I don't know. I don't get that.
Why?
I don't know.
Dude,
the
guy
Billy
from
Turner
the Tennessee Titans.
during that game, Billy
Started.
Turner was lined up wrong from where he's normally supposed to be.
Hey, let me ask you guys. Let me ask everyone on the question. What do you guys think? Give me your record projection for the Raiders this year.
6-11.
I got you guys at 9-8 because I think Jimmy G's about to ball out.
He's not.
I got you around 8-10 because I like that defense.
What do you mean? Jimmy G? He's a poor man's Jared Goff.
He's mediocre at best. He's not as good as Derek Carr is.
Josh Jacobs is fire, man. They got a great run game, man. They at least going to get 8 games.
Hold on. He's talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is the epitome of a mediocre quarterback.
I'm talking about Jacobs.
Okay, but he's talking about Jimmy. I want to hear this.
Oh, all right.
Jimmy G, to me, he's a field general if you ever seen one in the NFL. With the 49ers, all he had to do, go to the open guy, make his he could actually make beautiful reads. He's really good at that. He's not great at throwing it 50, 60 yards in the air. That's not his strength.
So you're saying one grade down from Goff, right?
Yeah,
Joe, you don't believe the hype?
Man's Jared Goff.
You're not looking like you believe the hype, Joe.
Bro, I gotta tell you. First of all, Jimmy G. There's a reason when he gets to the NFC Championship game, they let him throw the ball. What, 6 times or what was it? 8 times?
I don't know. Whatever it was, I know they beat the Packers a couple times in the playoffs.
He didn't beat the Packers though.
His team.
No, but their running game was ripping off 8-9 yards in carry against you guys.
Remember the last time Jimmy G against the Packers when he was on the Niners that he threw for 30 plus? You remember that game? Because we won that game. So it wasn't Jimmy G that ever did anything significant against the Packers. It's the Niners as a totality of a roster with great coaching.
He didn't lose them the game. He was a field general. If you ever
he lost that game against the Packers when he.
That's my point. He will not lose.
Is Jimmy G an upgrade from Derek Carr?
Hell no.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's all you need to say, man.
Okay, so
let me put it to you this way, dude.
Hold on. Let me tell you this, Nohezi. What I've always told Joe, he's a Raiders fan. What I've always told him is instead of getting Jimmy G and staying in mediocrity because you're clearly not going to be a great team with him, you might not be a horrible team with him. You'll probably stay in the middle, right? Why not just let Stedham be out there? Why not just let Stedham get killed?
He's
bad. Okay, but hear me out. Why not let Stedham go out there and get killed all year and you lose all your games and then go get Caleb Williams next year instead of stay?
That's obvious.
Jimmy G's got one good thing going for him. He got a great wide receiver to throw the ball to.
Tank for Caleb Williams? Why not? This would be the time to do it.
Well, that's like the Bears tanking. That's why they kept fucking Fields. They're tanking.
Wouldn't you rather do that though? Wouldn't you rather let Stidham get out there and get killed? Because you're not going to keep him, right?
No, honestly, Jimmy G, I think Jimmy G is that version of Stidham that you're thinking of. Honestly, he is that bridge quarterback that's he's gonna keep them competitive, but he's not gonna win them 12.
But how are they going to get 10 games? How are they going to get the pick to get Williams now?
Nick's whole argument,
no one's going to give up the number 1 pick because
what's up, Isaac?
Nick's whole argument is that the Raiders don't need to be competitive right now. Rob? They need to tank and pick up.
Having fun, man. Having fun.
Exactly.
I don't agree with that. The Raiders, first of all, they got great fans. They're not going to let that slide like that.
But honestly, I have to say, I'm kind of in Nick's camp on this one. I kind of felt like they should have let Stidham do whatever he could do and try to take a chance, because whoever gets the number 1 pick, they're not trading that for 10 first-round picks, dude. Like,
nope.
Caleb Williams is going number 1, and then Drake May is going number 2. Like,
Nick, that's a smart take. Honestly, I never really thought about it like that when you break it down.
Caleb Williams is being looked at as like when Luck was coming out of college,
Yeah.
right? Like no one's.
I'm going to say what quarterback had that much drama for?
Generational talent. Hey, but let me just say this: I've been a Raider fan my whole life, right? And like ever since I was old enough to watch football, and like every single year, Nick can attest to this. Every single year, I've always found some way to be able to delude myself into thinking that we're going to go to the playoffs or we're going to have a real shot at it, right? Like I've always
would be worse. You could be a Lions fan.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to support your team, man.
No, but look, I've always been able every
wearing.
single year, no matter how bad things in the building were, no matter how bad our roster was, no matter how bad our quarterback situation was, I've always been able to fool myself and like really, honestly believe that we were going to go somewhere.
Let me tell you something's going to make you feel better. Bears fans do that every year, bro. You're not alone.
Let me finish. This year, I'm having a real hard time doing that, dude, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got a playoff proven quarterback.
Hey, Joe, don't worry. You're going 17-0. You're going in as quarterback.
One big problem. Look, the Raiders face the same problem the Vikings do.
You're going in as quarterback, so you're going 17-0, bro.
Meshes with his offense, right? And
I bet I could throw this football over the mountains
this year. Dude, the Raiders fall into the same category as the Vikings.
That's Nick's
the problem
neighbor.
is when you have such a bad defense and it's that terrible, it kind of just doesn't it doesn't fall into place at that point. You're going to lose games that you should have won because your defense can't stop anybody. And the Vikings are going to see that this year.
Yeah.
And really,
I think the Raiders got a better defense than the Vikings, though.
Jimmy G ended up getting better. Yeah, they say from what I read, Jimmy G should be fine to start week 1.
Porn star Jimmy.
That's
Porn star Jimmy.
Porn star Jimmy.
But bro, the Raiders did nothing to address the set. I mean, they drafted a corner, Jacorian Bennett, who I think actually might be decent. Like I don't think he's going to be like like a Sauce or anybody, but I think he could actually be decent. He's got the speed and the man coverage abilities, but like the Raiders didn't really address their secondary at all. They didn't address the linebacker position in the draft at all, really. Like they had a chance at Drew Sanders. They had a chance at a couple of the top flight linebackers.
They helped your defensive line
with Tyree Wilson.
Yeah,
I mean
he's dope.
Dude, yeah, he was very highly projected.
Yeah, except that we already have Chandler on the roster for
I think Joe's really not on his Raiders this year, man. We're trying to hype you up, man.
I'm just being honest, man. Like I just feel kind of, especially with the Jacobs situation, like him not wanting to sign the tender. Like I feel like he's probably going to end up leaving because the Raiders aren't going to offer him what he deserves.
What's up with Tay? Is Tay still trying to get traded or what?
No, Tay's not going anywhere.
He's not going nowhere.
Tay's not going nowhere.
Hold on.
Jimmy G will probably quit.
Go ahead, A-Dub.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to question you guys about, what would you make of having to lose Darren Waller, though? How hard of a loss
that's
is
a big hit, too. That's right. I forgot you guys lost Waller.
Losing Waller,
a 4th round pick, right?
Losing Waller 3 years ago would have been a big hit, but the last 2 years he's spent more time on the bench than in the game anyway. So it's not really a big loss to us. And we got Michael Mayer, who was, pretty much the consensus top tight end in the draft.
It was him and Kincaid.
I think it opens up the Raiders offense a little bit more. You got him. Waller was like the prime target.
Because Waller was the prime target. He was getting 80 to 100 targets a year.
Joe, you guys lost a huge part of your blocking with Waller.
Waller was a terrible blocker, dude.
I think
and you know that. You were just trolling me to get me to say that.
I actually think he was ranked the worst blocker in the NFL by PFF.
Really?
But I'll bet you Michael Mayer is not going to be ranked the worst blocker in the NFL.
Huh?
No,
I bet Michael Mayer is not going to be the worst blocker.
No, Mayer's good overall. That's what's great about him. Like he's not He's not the greatest route runner like Kincaid is, but he can block. He can catch passes. He's pretty solid. He's a solid guy.
So, Joe, what do you think the Raiders going to do this year?
Hey, Nick, though, but they got Leatherwood.
Well, I didn't answer that question.
Dude, when the Raiders drafted Leatherwood, Joe called me and I was like, I saw it. He's like, what the fuck are we doing, bro?
No, Nick, tell it straight. What I actually said was, bro, I just honestly don't even know what the fuck we're doing anymore. That's what I said.
Sorry, Joe. I just throw a little jab to your ribs right there.
Like this.
I said, dude, and then I said, I don't know how much longer I can continue to support this incompetence. Dude. I literally
Try
said
being
that.
a Lion fan, Joe. Try being a Lion fan.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least
don't
I guess,
worry.
at least I can hang my hat on the 3 Super Bowls from the 80s and 70s, I guess. You know?
The autumn wind. You still got that too. The autumn wind, man.
Yeah, and we have the dopest theme song in uniform.
That's right. That's right.
So to the Lions fans,
the autumn wind is a
the
Raider.
whole reason why I told that story about when me and Joe watched the playoffs every single game together and Green Bay won the Super Bowl was, if Joe is sitting there and he ever has doubted your team, just know you're going to do really good. Now, Lions fans, if Joe's sitting there being like, I don't know if you can win the Super Bowl, well, then sit there and
So
be like,
that explains why you're down on your team this year. You're hoping it works for you.
Lions fans, if you go to the playoffs,
some reverse
hang out with Joe during the playoffs.
Oh,
Hey,
God,
Joe, don't worry about it. Hey,
I can hear John Dorn coming in right
I'm
now.
gonna pick them to get 5 wins, and they're gonna go 13-4.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jimmy. Jimmy's gonna have an All-Pro season.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Devontae's
the
gonna
MVP of the
get
league.
1,700 yards and 19 touchdowns.
Hey, Joe,
Josh
don't
Jacobs
worry
is going
about
for
it.
1,500. Like,
You don't have a Chicago quarterback that's saying he's going to run it back.
Yeah, shit.
Jimmy G's definitely not going to run it back.
I'll give you my honest opinion.
You also don't have a Chicago quarterback that's saying the game is slow.
I'll give you my honest opinion of what I see, because I see the Raiders season going one of two ways, and it depends on a couple of things. One, if Jacobs actually signs the tender, or if they sign him to a deal and he comes back, if Jimmy can stay healthy for a whole season, which is a huge if, I could see the Raiders possibly winning 10 games, maybe at the end of the season being like a candidate for.
Do they win the division? Do they win the division, Joe?
Hell no, dude. You got to be kidding me.
My homies.
But, I mean, at least I'm honest
I
about
want to
it.
hear it, man.
Dude, when you
Bro,
ask
we're not
that,
going to win the
hell
division until
no.
Patrick Mahomes is gone. Like,
Yeah,
Dude,
you're going to have to Tanya Harding Patrick Mahomes, dude.
bro, honestly, I don't know
That'll be
why
Joe out there.
I don't know why a Raider fan hasn't taken one for the team
Perhaps.
already and just went and busted that dude's kneecap.
I totally get where Joe's coming from, because our big bad
But
wolf right now is Jared Goff, and it's like, well, we got a pretty good defense. We could,
Yeah, but put
we
it
have
this
a
way:
good
I would rather
season.
have Jared Goff as my big bad
Oh
wolf
no,
than
that's
have
what I'm
Patrick
saying.
Mahomes.
I feel
Yeah,
for
that's
us.
that's
we get
not
it
even.
light. We get it light. You're sitting
That's
there
not
like,
even a close comparison.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, for us, like, we're getting it light, bro. Whereas Joe is getting like, we got Mahomes. And
He's
then we
like,
got
fucking
Herbert,
Mahomes. We got no
and we got,
shot.
I know that Russell Wilson had a bad season, but then you got Russell Wilson, who could still be Hall of Fame quarterback next year again. You know what I mean? Like, shit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I was saying, like, I think the season could go one of two ways. Like, if everything was to go right for the Raiders, meaning like we don't get any extra bullshit, like nobody kills anybody, nobody gets kicked off the team,
Cocaine charges.
like,
Can't promise that. It's Vegas.
none of that
No
stuff.
gambling
And
charges.
Gambler degenerates.
Yeah, and if the team stays relatively healthy, I think we could possibly win 10 games. I think we would probably be on the outside, like, we would come down to like the last game for a playoff spot and possibly like the number 7 seed if everything went right. But then we would be first round bounced. Like,
hide bodies easier in Vegas.
Yeah, but bro,
if it's not
like right now, the Raiders are not beating. Right now, the Raiders are not beating the Bengals. They're not beating the Bills, and they're not beating the Chiefs.
Hey, do you play the Jets
You're
at
not
all?
beating the Jets.
Joe, there's still the
Honestly,
AFC South, man. If you win 10 games, you could get that wild card.
But so then, like the other way that it could go is Jacobs doesn't sign. Jimmy gets hurt after 3 or 4 games, and by week 7 we're starting Aiden O'Connell as our quarterback.
Holy shit, Joe! That's like total doomsday.
Or your defense is giving up 35 points per game, and it just all crumbles from there.
Well, actually, I kind of figured the 35 points a game into the 10-win total as well. Like I just kind of figured that's going to happen either way.
If you guys win 10 games with 35 points per game given up, I swear. Bro,
I honestly, it's not going to be 35. I will personally
buy you Raiders tickets.
That's the Vikings 2.0, ain't it? And
it's not going to be 35. It's not going to be 35 points a game, but I would bet that they're going to be, in the bottom 3 as far as points per game allowed. Just being honest, I think unless Tyree Wilson has like a monster rookie year.
Are you sure you're not a Vikings fan?
I know, man. You sound like it.
Well, hang on.
No, I'm realistic about it.
Well, question, Joe.
Now you really sound like a fan.
Yeah, well,
A-Dub got a question for you,
then, Joe. Hold on. As you say that about how your team will go, well, how exactly do you see yourself matching up against your division as it is right now?
Well, I don't necessarily think the Chargers got like super better, and we split with them, and we actually could have won that first game if Carr didn't throw 3 picks. So if Jimmy can just manage it and we can run the ball, I think we will at least split with LA. Like Denver, who knows? Like, I mean, we've been kicking their ass, but it's hard to say with Sean Payton. Like, if he actually resurrects the fucking corpse of Russ, then who knows what could happen. But
and they have a good defense too. They do have.
And then Kansas City most likely sweeps us. I think that
got swept by the Chargers too, though. If the Chargers coach didn't call that the dumbest timeout in history, okay?
They should have replaced it.
No, that was 2 years ago.
Oh, that was at the end of the last. That was it. No, that was last year, bro.
No, that was the playoff year when he called that dumb timeout and we kicked the field goal.
Oh, that's right. You're right. That was 2 years ago, bro.
But last year
the dumbest timeout in history. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, Joe, I just got to say you have nothing to worry about Jacobs because there's no way he doesn't sit out the season. It's a bad market for running backs right now, and he doesn't want to shoot himself in the foot right now. The RB market is really bad
Alvin
right
Cook
now.
Can't even get signed right now because it's such a bad market. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going to happen with him.
Zeke doesn't have a job. You know what I mean?
It's going to open up once training camp settles.
So he signs the franchise tag, and then he comes in pissed off, and just doesn't really play hard because he's like, fuck these guys. They could have gave me a contract, but they want to play this franchise tag game, and he's unhappy. I don't
believe in the not play hard thing, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
I never believe in that because if you don't play hard in the NFL,
nobody's going to want you.
Someone's going to take your head off, too, on the field if you're not playing hard. I'm not going to lie.
Well, believe me, I would be super happy. I would be super happy if he came in and had another season like last year for sure because we need it. Like that's part of my projection. If we could possibly get to 10 wins, is like Jacobs is pretty much going to have to carry us like he did last year, dude. Like,
okay,
so not only that though, like he's going to want to play hard because the RB market has got to raise some fucking way because it's not raising this year, but next year he's going to play himself to get paid.
So let me do this real quick. Let me do this. Because this is a Packers show, I'm going to start with Chad. I'm going to go around the horn with every single person that I see. I'm going to ask you one question. Who wins more games next year? Packers or Raiders? Go, Chad.
Packers by far.
Go, John.
Packers.
No hezzy. Go.
Raiders.
Raiders? Ooh, okay.
He's a hater.
What do you think?
FTP. You know the vibes.
Green Bay.
Rob, what do you think?
Packers.
Isaac.
You know what I'm going to say.
Joe, as a Raiders fan, who do you think wins more games next year?
I don't know. Depends on how Jordan Love plays.
All right,
if Jordan Love plays really good, then I think Packers. But if Jordan Love has rookie.
This is not a sonnet, bro. I'm asking you who you think is going to win more games.
Probably the Packers.
Boom! So if the Raiders are going 10-7, possibly, that means the Packers are going 17-0, baby.
The Raiders aren't going 10-7.
That's not going to happen. Honestly, there's just as much chance the Packers could go 7-10 as 11-6.
Someone just spammed the living shit out of us saying the Dolphins are the best. And you guys can't see the comments, but there's a million comments saying Raiders, Dolphins, Raiders, Dolphins, Raiders. Like, geez, okay then, bud.
Dolphins is gonna be a good team though this year, though.
They're going to be possibly getting suspended now.
Yeah, they're in the AFC South. They're probably gonna win the division.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill might get suspended.
Yeah, he slapped some 57-year-old guy too. He slapped some guy.
Investigating him.
Didn't he gamble?
Yeah, they're investigating him.
Gamble, and he's got a different one. Yeah, he slapped some dude.
So let me ask you something. Azram, were the Dolphins the best last year when we beat them?
We served them up as sushi.
When what's his name? Rasul Douglas, I believe. I'm sure you know the name Azram. When
Douglas had a good game
to win the game.
Yep.
Sure you remember that, don't you? Yeah. If it wasn't for fucking Ford giving up that touchdown to Waddle, we probably would have won that game by a lot more. But
hey, but let's just keep it real. Waddle smoked his ass, dude.
He did. He smoked his ass.
Waddle
smoked his ass.
Waddle's a beast.
Yeah, Waddle's a beast.
You know what though? The thing that I'm proud of with our defense that game was Cheetah destroyed us in the first half. Second half, he did jack shit because Jared Alexander keyed on him. The whole rest of that second half, he couldn't do nothing.
Hey, fuck the played out gritty. The Waddle's the best touchdown dance in the NFL right now.
Oh, God, man.
The Waddle dance?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. My daughter Gritty's pretty sick, dude. Like when my daughter's in Brazilian jiu-jitsu class, she taps out gray belts and then she gritties on them, dude. Like,
get out of here, really?
The gritty is by far the best dance because Jerry Alexander did it right on the gritty, fucking right on.
Did it right on him.
Face, son.
Yeah, my daughter arm bars him and then like just gritties on him, dude. Like,
that's awesome, bro.
That's sick.
I wish the Raiders had a cool dance like that.
You guys do. It's called.
You got to get somebody cool.
They got. Dude, I've seen it. When they score a touchdown, they all get in the prison cell and they lock the door.
Well, Adams got dropped too. I see this week is charges against Adams were dropped, but you should have been angry.
Yeah, they do have a celebration. It's if the Raiders are doing bad, the Hells Angels go like this in the stands.
Actually, I gotta say, I think the dopest touchdown celebration I ever saw was Johnny Lee Higgins on the Raiders did a punt return and then he did the Carlton. That was pretty dope. He did the Carlton.
Unusual.
Yeah, but he nailed it though. Like he had the timing and everything, dude. It was
and at
like
the same time, he missed the same shot that Carlton missed to win the game.
It's still to this day, out of all the dances, the Dirty Bird has to be the best, dude.
Oh, dude, the Dirty Bird. Do you remember when they lost to the Broncos and they were doing the Dirty Bird and the dude did the shotgun to him and he went like I'm sorry, that was good.
That was so awesome, dude. The Dirty Bird is so fucking legendary.
Azram, I sent you the link. Go ahead and join. It seems like you're kind of a psycho. He's sending like 50 of this. He's just spamming like.
He's an idiot.
Nick's got a new fan.
Is your name Dave and you really live in India or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
he's probably a Bears fan.
Probably.
Right?
Oh,
probably.
That's a good take. That he probably is. So we talked about it before. Joe agreed that his favorite first-round draft pick for Raiders history was Fabian Washington right before Aaron Rodgers. That was, he said.
Really?
No, that's actually 100% cap.
Okay.
100% bullshit.
What are you talking about? You love that pick. You said that was such a great pick, and I was like, Joe, you're gonna regret that. And Joe even got a tattoo that said "No regrets" after that.
No regrets.
It said "No regrets, Washington."
And
I don't want to be Nick enemy.
Fabian Washington ended up being the next Amari Carroll.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you who my favorite first-round draft pick the Raiders had is.
Really?
Max Crosby.
Yeah. He was
Crosby would be good.
Rounder.
Charles.
Yeah, but he's a good fourth rounder.
Yeah, but Crosby is a 4th rounder. I said the first.
No, I got it.
I know, but Crosby's a good 4th rounder.
Sorry,
I got it. I got it.
I was thinking
Jamarcus
of
Russell.
recent draft. How about Charles?
Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell?
Charles Woodson.
Charles Woodson. Yeah, I like
He's
Charles
got to
Woodson a
be.
lot.
Come on, man. He's a Raider for life.
Charles has to be number 1. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
you know who another one? He wasn't a 1st-round pick, but another one of my favorite Raiders draft picks ever was Greg Beaker, dude. That guy was a fucking
Oh,
stud.
Greg Beaker. That's a good one. The dude that used to have blood all over his fucking helmet.
No, that was John Ritchie.
But so did Greg Beaker when they were playing the Cowboys, I believe.
Oh.
He
Well, Greg
blocked that
Beaker was
punt.
he was a stud, bro.
It wasn't a punt. It was a field goal. He blocked that field goal. He was a safety for the Raiders. He blocked a field goal.
No, he was a linebacker.
Oh, okay. Well, he ran in a dude's fucking shit when he kicked the field goal, and he was bleeding on his head, but he blocked the field goal. I remember that. That was when I was a little kid. I must have been like 6 years old, man. And everyone was like, "Oh, I love Greg Beaker," and I was like,
Napoleon Kaufman was a good pick too.
Every time the blood on the head, I think about Brian Cushing when he headbutted the fucking dude.
I always think about when Richard Seymour fucked up Ben Roethlisberger.
Hey, you want to hear a cool story?
Shit.
You want to hear a cool story? So when Richard Seymour was on the Raiders in 2011, I went to training camp and I met Richard Seymour, and it was the year after he punched Ben Roethlisberger in the face. So when I walked up to him, the first thing I said to him was, "Hey, me and my dad thought that was cool as shit when you punked Ben Roethlisberger last year." And he started laughing. And I was like, "Dude, we seriously cheered for that shit. So, don't stop." And he started laughing his ass off. Like, because, the media was actually, there was some reporters that were trying to talk to him when I said it. So he couldn't really say like anything, because like people are listening, but he laughed his ass off when I told him that. I was like, "Dude, that was cool as shit when you punked that bitch." Like,
another cool story. The Raiders training camp was held every single year where me and Joe played high school football. I'm not joking. In Napa, California, at Memorial Stadium, that's where Raiders training camp is held, where we played high school.
Actually, they only did one day there. They did family day there. It was at the Marriott.
I know, but you know what? They also did training camp where we played Pee Wee football.
Oh, so you guys
remember they put all the black mesh things all over the fuck.
I actually have been to prison. Yes.
Nick's explaining it right now.
They would put all the black mesh all around like the gated part of the fields, and we used to play on those fields every fucking day, man. With the Raiders are playing there. It was just like, it was kind of cool to play. Where
hey, you know who the biggest scumbag of a player I ever met was when he was a Raider? Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard was because I went to training camp every day for a week, and I had a Desmond Howard rookie card, and I asked him to sign it every day for a week, and every day he told me no. I was like, probably
that doesn't make him a scumbag, but
no, that makes him a scumbag, dude. In my book, anyway.
You have a player from the Broncos that spit on the Raiders player's face, played for the Raiders, and now announces for the Raiders.
Oh, no, and broke his teammate's fucking eye socket.
He's not the bigger scumbag?
No, because he actually signed autographs and was cool with the fans.
That's man, get the fuck out of here. I'm just man.
Dude, Desmond Howard, like, he was such a scumbag for that. He was like trying to big time people. I didn't like it. It's like, bro, you had a Super Bowl MVP from a kickoff return, and you're acting like you're fucking Jerry Rice.
Do not disrespect the kickoff return.
Just a kickoff return.
Meanwhile, the actual Jerry Rice is on our team, and he's signing autographs for little kids.
Like, do not disrespect the kick return. Do not do that.
I'm a Spartan fan. I'm Michigan State. Desmond Howard was one of the most elite players in my lifetime. And there's no question about that.
I think Charles Woodson was better than him at Michigan.
He was. He was. I said one of.
He definitely was one of. And then he ended up fizzling out because he was more of a special teams guy than he was an actual offensive guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Joe, you should have not wore your fuck Desmond Howard shirt. I mean, he would have signed your card. You know what I mean?
This guy's like, why couldn't you do that for us? No,
I went into it totally cool. I was like, I was happy to have him at the time. He was Super Bowl MVP. I was happy to have him. And then like he big timed me, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this guy. Like there's plenty of cool people who are better players than him that sign autographs, you know?
Joe was like, why didn't you do that for us in the Super Bowl? He's like, well, you have to get to a Super Bowl first, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Bro, I cannot remember a single kickoff that Desmond Howard took back for us, to be honest with you.
What?
So yeah,
he
for the
just
Raiders,
took back his autograph.
You must not have watched the game.
so no, maybe that contributes to him being the biggest scumbag for me. Is like not only did he big time me, but then he went on to not do shit for us.
Oh man.
So
damn. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of cases like plenty of players that just don't sign. This is bullshit. I think, you know what I mean? Like if you have the time to do it, do it. You know what I mean?
Bro, honestly, you can make the time. How long does it take to sign your name for an 8-year-old, 10-year-old kid? Like you're going to make their whole year, dude, and you can't take 10 seconds to sign your name on something.
You realize there's contracts involved with some of these players too, right? You do
yeah, but Jerry Rice had a contract like you're talking about, and he could only sign certain things. But if you brought those certain things, he would sign it.
Just so you know, Tyrone Wheatley did that to me when I was a kid. He wouldn't sign my autograph, and he ignored everybody.
Yeah. Oh man.
I think Napoleon Kaufman was the coolest. I'm not joking. Like
the
Napoleon
coolest.
Kaufman would literally go into the masses of everybody and just be like, "Hey, I love everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful life." And like he's signing Napoleon Kaufman, I swear, was like
nicest dude ever. Nicest
dude I've ever met in my life. I'm not even
close.
joking.
Hey, close second, Namdi. Namdi was super cool too, dude.
I got sad news.
Well, he was a beast on the field too.
Schroeder signed with the Raptors.
Who did?
Yeah, Namdi was a
Schroeder.
beast.
Fucking great.
Even Rich Gannon.
We signed Cam Reddish. We signed Austin Reeves coming up. Rui we signed. We signed Gabe Vincent.
We need a Schroeder.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who else? Tim
Gabe
Brown.
Vincent, though.
Tim Brown was also
a good
super
dude.
cool.
Tim Brown was a good man.
Tim Brown. Yeah,
Tim Brown was awesome.
Is the man.
He's like he's totally friendly. Like he don't just sit there and sign your stuff. He sits there and actually talks to you, asks you questions about your life. Like, you know what I mean? And he would always tell every kid that he signed for, he would always tell him, stay in school, man, stay in school. Him and Wisniewski too. Like Wisniewski would always tell people, stay in school, man.
I'm an Angels fan, and like one of the ultimate players that sat around.
Hey, Matthew Wagner said Michael Jordan told me to fuck off once. I'm not surprised. Although if Michael Jordan told me to fuck off, I would probably take that the same way. Like if he signed my autograph, I would be like
one of the biggest douchebags in sports ever. Like,
yeah, but bro, it's Michael fucking Jordan. If he told you to fuck off, you'd be like, dude, Michael Jordan just told me to fuck off.
I wouldn't. I'd be like,
I wouldn't be upset at all.
I'll get it tattooed.
I wouldn't be upset at all. I'd be like, could you say it again so I could record it? I want to play it in the car on the way home.
Get one of those tattoos that you can fucking sonogram it.
Oh, like no regret.
Exactly, dude.
Isaac, go ahead and continue what you were saying though. You're an Angels fan, which me and Joe are Giants fans, so fuck the Angels. But go ahead.
Yeah, as an Angels fan, like a lot of players like didn't really sign, like fucking Garrett Anderson. He didn't sign shit. Like like Troy Gloss. Like he used to turn down kids all the time. Like he was a piece of shit. But Scott
Spezio,
Barry Bonds
used to just be a
playoffs.
dick.
Yeah, playoffs hero.
Barry Bonds was a bitch.
Scott Spezio used to sit for like an hour or 2 hours and talk to every single person, every single kid, and sit there for hours signing whatever you want, hanging out with kids, taking pictures. Like he's probably one of the ultimate fucking players that just sat around. It didn't matter if he had an obligation to go to. Like he used to sit around just sign for everybody.
Frank Thomas too. Frank Thomas was a cool cat too.
So real quick, I want to ask Brad, I want to ask No Hezzy, like you guys are Lions fans. I want to ask you guys about this because I'm sure me, A-Dub, Isaac, and Joe are going to have the same opinion. When people are saying like Aaron Rodgers is this, Aaron Rodgers is a bitch, he's a terrible person, he's such a fucking drug addict, all this weird shit that comes out of shit that they're taking out of context. Dude, Aaron Rodgers is one of the first people to sit there, talk to his fans, hang out with, like he brings disabled kids to the games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he pays for families to go. Him and DeAndre Hopkins go to Africa, and they pay money for hearing devices for deaf kids in Africa. He donates to charity all the time. Just
Rodgers-
because he's a hippie, just because he does like off the grid type shit. This guy is not a bad dude, and I truly don't understand why people like say the crazy shit about him that they do.
Yeah, Rodgers also visits kids in the kids hospital, like sick kids in hospitals all the time. All the time.
So what is so bad about the guy? Like, people are like, he lied about his vaccination. No, he didn't. He didn't lie about one thing. He said he's immunized. Is he immunized? If the answer is yes, he lied about nothing. Like, now,
yeah, it just the guy was so good at the sport that fucking, you know, it's just so good that fucking you hate him because he's so good.
No, but I want, like, okay, Chad, go ahead and take that one off for me, because all the shit that they say, a lot of it is just like way out of context.
Will I ever question Aaron Rodgers' humanitarian things that he does? Never. No. It's proven. He is a great person. What I question is how he hijacked the Green Bay Packers. And, you know, he hijacked you guys, man. He did. He threw fits when you didn't draft who he wanted. And it's not his position to do that. Yes,
Can't you chalk that up as calculative, and maybe he's just an intelligent businessman that knows what he's doing?
Well, it's not his business, dude. It's not his business. He's a percentage. He is an employee, and some of the things that he pulled off, some of the negativity that I've seen in the last 5-6 years of him with the front office. They've been at battle for years. Can anybody deny that Rodgers and the Green Bay Packer organization haven't been at battle? And I really do, man. I'm telling you. Yes, humanitarian. Yes, he is a great human being. He's contributed to great causes, but he thought he was above the team.
And that's fine, but that's not what I'm talking about, because people attack his actual character when I'm like, what did he do?
I would never attack his actual character.
But you see people do it, right?
Yo, absolutely.
So I always question, like, what did he do that was so bad? I've never understood this. Now, what you're talking about is at an NFL level, a football level. Like, sure, us Packers fans have been dissatisfied with the way that things have gone and the way that things broke down. That's easy. That's easy for us. But my thing is like, man, this guy's such a piece of shit. And I'm like, why? What did he do? Like,
Nick, your voice isn't as big as his, okay? None of our voices are as big as Aaron Rodgers' voice, okay? So when he comes out and openly criticizes your organization, whether they're doing it right or whether they're not, that is bad.
That's a business decision, though. That has nothing to do with his character.
It has everything to do what he portrays out there to the public. It has 100% everything. When Aaron Rodgers gets pissed, it's known. Everybody knows it. It goes out.
They're talking about he's a bad person because of what he says and what that doesn't.
He's a bad person, I don't think, Nick. They're not. Nobody can question the good that he does for communities.
It's not true, people. A lot of people. It's just like LeBron James. People are like, he's such a piece of shit. He talks like politically. It's just not true. This guy is one of the most greatest assets to the world right now that we have. Like, they're doing great things for so many people. You don't have to like him as a basketball player, but you cannot discredit him as a person itself, his character. And people do it every day.
Same thing with
Shaq. You know what cracks me up too is fucking people are getting on him fucking for he didn't even lie about not being fucking vaccinated. You know what I mean? But so many people don't even believe in don't believe in COVID anyway. So what the fuck is the outrage for? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to bring that topic in, that vaccine, whatever your stance is, whatever. But like, people hated him for fucking not taking fucking the vaccine. Well, supposedly like don't understand his wording for fucking, but people themselves don't even care about it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but what you don't understand is because he held your organization hostage for 8 fucking years.
That has nothing to do with your character, though, and your general sense as a person.
Character. What it does is it gives people that are pissed off a reason to attack you.
Okay, I agree with that. Joe, you've always had such a unique, and you've never been on the show and talked about this before, this subject itself, but you have such a unique perspective, and we talked about it on the phone a million times. Go ahead and give your take, because I always love when you talk about this as an outsider that has literally just no – other than being a Cal Bears fan with me, which sucks. Woo!
Go
Joe,
Bears.
You have a complete outside perspective about this where you see it happen and you're like, I don't get it. Like,
yeah, well, for me, it's more Aaron Rodgers doesn't march to the same beat as other people. Like, you see guys like Tom Brady, and like they're super marketable and they're in Subway commercials and shit. And you don't see Aaron Rodgers doing that. Like, he's not the conventional all-star, and he also doesn't always play along with the media. Like, you know, the media gives you softball questions and they expect softball answers, you know, and Aaron Rodgers will actually get into it and tell you like what he's thinking. And what he's thinking may be like, yeah, this dude needs to stop dropping the ball. And so it appears that he's throwing people under the bus or, you know, this and that. But it's like you're asking him the question and he's just giving you an answer. Like, personally, I don't think he's a bad person. You know, like, I think Aaron Rodgers is a cool dude. I just think that he doesn't fit the mold. Like, I this is just my personal opinion, but I think the NFL tried to mold him in that Tom Brady, Steve Young, Joe Montana, like, you know, America's golden child kind of way, and he just didn't want that. So he didn't really play the game, and so now the media kind of turned against him. That's my opinion.
I feel like that's a higher sense of intelligence, though, that instead of like following the mold of everybody that, well, this is what the NFL told me I got to do, or this is what my sponsorships told me I got to do, Aaron Rodgers more so just went, I'm just going to do what I want to do. And I've never understood the backlash of telling the truth, giving your honest opinion, and just doing it your own way. Like, just because
it's all opera, dude. It's all theatrics, and like they want the cookie cutter answers. They want the cliches, like, and so when you don't give them that, you know, they're gonna find other things to talk about. They're gonna look into you and find any.
You know what my biggest thing is the Aaron Rodgers is gay, and I'm like, okay, so you do realize that means that you're losing to a gay man. Now, you're posting about Aaron Rodgers being gay as a negative. I would never do that. I would never call one of your guys' quarterbacks gay as some negative connotation. But that's what happens. Aaron Rodgers is called gay as a negative connotation, which is absurd. But you do realize when you put that negative connotation on him being gay, you're now losing to a gay man, which is the negative connotation, right? I've never understood that dig. It's like, haha, you're gay. And it's like, haha, I beat you. And you're like, damn, I just lost to a gay man. See what I'm saying? How does that make sense?
It's personal attacks is what it is. It's just personal attacks for people that have hard feelings. If anybody thinks Aaron Rodgers is gay, maybe they have the problem.
I personally think he probably is, but it doesn't really affect me either way.
Doesn't change the world.
What he chooses to do with his dick is his business, bro. Like, you know, he still can sling a football like a motherfucker, though.
It's these weird fucking things that happen. Like, I don't know. I feel like people attack his character all the time. And I feel like it's unjust because I feel like it's a perfect example where Tom Brady, his character never gets attacked. And to be honest, I've never seen anything that Tom Brady's character should be attacked. He had that shit with Giselle and all this weird shit's happening now. Now, I'm just going to give this other example, though, where just because people don't like LeBron James and they don't want him to win, they will then attack his character. And I'm bringing this up for just a very specific point of reference where Michael Jordan was an absolute douchebag piece of shit, and I don't want him to be a role model for my kids. Are you kidding me? That guy was a terrible human being. I'm sorry. He was. Probably still is. I don't know his life anymore, but he was praised for being a gambling addict, fucking asshole, just like Barry Bonds in certain aspects, for being a steroid addict asshole to all his fans. Michael Jordan was never a good teammate. Everybody has these horrible stories about him, but he's praised like a god. And LeBron James, his character gets shit on all the time. The time.
What you don't understand about LeBron James, okay? He was drafted by a city that loved him, and he almost got them there a couple of times. Then he sold out. So there is a lot of hatred. People don't like sellouts, man. That would be like if I sold out as a Lion fan, kind of, or you sold out as a Packer fan.
It's not the same thing. The business is not loyal to the players. Why are the players loyal to the business?
No,
I completely disagree with that. Nobody cares how you won. The only thing that matters is if you won. LeBron James did the best thing for his career. He played out all of his contracts. He's never been traded. He's never forced anybody.
I'm going to prove you wrong, Nick, because he went back to Cleveland. Okay,
yeah.
So I'm going to prove you wrong. He sold out. They could have won a world championship, an NBA championship. He sold out for 4 years, and then he went back. Okay, that's
not selling out. If he stayed in Cleveland, they never get Kyrie. They never get dude. They were not winning if he stayed there. He did what was best for him. It doesn't matter how you won. It just matters if you won. And LeBron James, as a businessman, sold his product and understood that. He is a billionaire. You know that, right? He is a billionaire. He's the only active billionaire in any sport that's ever existed. And there's a reason for that. He is that damn smart. He knows what he's doing, okay? He came back and he won for Cleveland. Bro, Cleveland doesn't give a fuck what LeBron James does at this point because they all know that he brought them a championship and he did what no one else could.
Nick, they did at the time. They cared at the time.
He brought them back to the promised land.
It's funny because the same people that burned his jerseys the first time, they bought him the second time.
Yeah, they did.
So, there is no fucking loyalty when it comes to business, my guy.
Yep.
That does not exist. The Cleveland Cavaliers don't give a shit about LeBron James. They only give a shit about winning. Okay,
they
LeBron
care about
James
hanging his jersey. Listen, they care about being able to hoist his jersey. That's what they care about.
They don't care about that. They don't care about that. The fans care about that. Do you think franchises hoist jerseys because they care about that? They don't. It's the fans that care about that.
Really?
Yes. Go ahead, Isaac.
Look, I admit the decision stupid. Like, I mean, that whole fucking the whole bit from ESPN doing the decision. But I don't think that's LeBron. That was ESPN fucking all the media trying to market that. You know? Like, I bet LeBron, like, you know, aimed to that decision, and you market this. Can we, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is big that you're moving. So basically, the media that put all these fucking people against him. You know what I mean? It wasn't LeBron. Like, LeBron made up his mind. He was Miami, you know? The media is the one that made him kind of the scapegoat for that hate.
I will never knock someone for doing what's best for them, their family, and their career. It's a business. As long as you win, you do what you need to do, fulfill your contract, and if you want to leave, leave. You looking for championships. That's all there is to it, man. LeBron James never shafted someone, forced anyone to do anything, strong-armed anything. What this guy did was tactically go to a team that he knew that he could win championships with, did it, came back after he fulfilled his contract again, won, fulfilled his contract again, went to the Lakers because of his son, won a championship again, is fulfilling all of his contracts. He's doing nothing wrong in my eyes. He's just doing what's best for his career. And there's a reason that LeBron James is the first billionaire to ever exists in any active sport in history, okay? I'm just saying.
You're going to tell me LeBron has more money than Jordan?
No, I said as an active in this. Michael Jordan never had $1 billion while he was in playing.
Michael Jordan made all his money off endorsements, off Space Jam, off Nike.
We can't hear you,
That's
Isaac.
any player, though, in history right now. Like, even your bench players making millions and millions in endorsements. I mean,
LeBron James is the only person
Michael Jordan
why doesn't Michael Jordan be a billionaire? There's a reason for that.
Why don't Michael catch a lot of flack? His shoes are the most expensive in NBA history. Like,
I can't look. It's the same thing as Aaron Rodgers. People knock him because they pretend that he has to do something a certain way. It doesn't matter how you do it, why you do it, or where you did it. All that matters is that you actually fucking did it. Because years later, when there's new eras in these sports, these fans with these new eras are never going to give a fuck that Kevin Durant went to the Warriors and won championships. The only thing they're going to care about is, did he win championships? Damian Lillard is ruining his own career by sitting there and doing this whole loyalty thing. Bro, once you are not good enough, the Trailblazers don't give a flying fuck about you, and you're going to have 0 championships, and the new eras are going to not even remember you at this point. But they'll remember that Kevin Durant played for the Warriors and won those championships and were possibly the greatest teams ever, right?
Yep. Hey, Chad, let me ask you a quick question. Would you rather Rodgers be himself or a corporate slave and come out with corporate?
Okay. You broke up.
Chad, do you hear me?
I can now, but you broke up on that question.
Chad, do you hear me?
Yeah, I do now.
So my question was, would you rather Rodgers be himself or a corporate slave with corporate answers?
I'd rather him be himself, and in defense of Rodgers, even though I feel he was a bitch to the team, he did what he felt was right. Okay, I don't hate the guy. Yeah. I really don't.
True.
He did what he felt was right for all the other players in the league too, probably. But I do feel.
See, I think what's going on. Same thing that happened with Kobe is that a lot of people hated Kobe for whatever reason, but they're
going to love him when he's gone.
And as soon as Kobe passed away, all those haters love Kobe. And then the same thing's going to happen to Rodgers one day. When Rodgers passed away, they'll be like, man, Rodgers was one hell of a player, and he was a guy that just went to his own beat. You know what I mean? And all that hate is going to dissipate because he's no longer a threat, for anybody to hate.
Well, in my lifetime, the best 2 quarterbacks are Brady and Rodgers. In my lifetime, and I'm 53.
Same for my lifetime. I would actually go, if I'm being honest, look, this is just me being honest, I would actually go Brady, Manning, and then Rodgers. I would say Rodgers.
No way.
I think Manning was one of the most intelligent. I got to be the greatest quarterbacks I've ever watched throw a football in my entire fucking life, man.
Yeah, and he had to go to Denver to win a Super Bowl.
Okay. I love Peyton Manning.
He won with the Colts before he went to Denver.
No, he didn't. No, he did not.
He won a Super.
No,
he won a Super Bowl with the Colts against the Bears.
Is this correct?
Yes. Devin Hester took the very first kickoff of the game for a touchdown, and the Colts ended up beating the shit out of them in Rex Grossman.
I thought he only won with Denver.
Nope, he won two. He won one with the Colts and one with Denver.
No, he has 2 Super Bowls.
Okay, I'm mistaken.
The Colts was all him.
I'm human.
Yeah.
And then he went to the Super Bowl again right after that with the Colts, and they lost to Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac,
what Peyton
Isaac,
Manning does at the line of scrimmage is legendary. The way
I know, right?
Like
he can
breaks
read a
down
defense like nobody else. I would go Brady, Manning, Rodgers. That's in my lifetime. That's what I would do. I'm sorry. I don't think that Rodgers is greater than Manning. I just don't.
And the thing is, Peyton Manning will never stare down his first read too. Like you see him jumping, like looking at every single read, and then he makes a decision. You know what I mean?
Yep. So look, my neighbors are coming over and asking me to come over, and they're starting to click some beer bottles together. Eli, if you're watching, yeah, I'm talking to you. Isaac, you're breaking up. Chad, thank you for being on again. Jeremy, everybody that came on, thank you for being on tonight. Frozen Tundra Network. We'll be back next Friday again. Chad, I'll text you. We'll talk about these tickets. Maybe Isaac will want to join in, go to a Lambeau Lions game. Woo! It's going to be some fun, dog.
We got 4 of us.
We're going to do it, dog. I can't wait. But I can't wait to meet you. It's going to be fun. Everybody, thank you for watching, and we will be back next Friday, okay? Frozen Tundra Network. It's getting closer to the season. Everyone have a wonderful night. What I always do is, Chad, go ahead and give us your last sign off, and then I'll go to Isaac, who's breaking up.
Well, I'm looking forward to this game, and hey, I hope you get Bill or somebody to come along with us. Here's what I have to say: Bears suck.
You're excited for me to buy you beers all night.
I'm not going to let you do that. Come on.
Why not? I make a decent amount of money.
Hey, be offering.
Isaac, get the fuck out. Isaac, go ahead and give us your last sign off.
Bears suck. Go back, go.
I think that's like the national sign off at this point. Everyone have a wonderful night. I'll see you guys next week. All right.
All right, buddy.
Go Pack, go.